Why are there so many shows starring Muppets and dozens of movies too? They said they'd watch everyone and they mean it. It's something that they've got to do. So now they've pledged you a lifelong commitment. The Muppets, Matthew and Sam.
Welcome to Commitment, the podcast where two friends have vowed to watch all things Muppets.
I think this is good for us.
I'm coming in at 5'9", your forward,
Oh, wow.
Matthew Gatos.
And me, 5'9" as well.
Look
Sam.
at us. A couple of boys who won't lie about their heights because we're not close enough to 6 to get away with it.
No, gosh, I'm so far away from 6. Sometimes I say I'm 5'9.5", which I think is true, but I do feel bad when I say it because it feels like someone will say, are you?
Also, what are you getting with that half?
Yeah. And
if you say that to somebody, they're going to be like, okay, calm down.
I'm also not like
Sounds like the voice of a 5'8.5".
Yeah, I don't have to say. I'm 38 and a half years old.
I'm this tall, many. I guess that's appropriate for the theme here today.
Oh, for babies. That's
for
right.
babies. Look at, I pulled it around.
You know what else is weird? It's just me and you. It hasn't been just me and you. We did that special episode of the new Muppet Show.
Yes.
But between that, it hasn't just been the two of us doing a regular episode in a long ass time.
It has not. Yeah, I was thinking about that too, where, we had, like you said, the Muppet Show special, which I think also felt a little weird though, because we had to record that one at a weird time.
Yeah.
It was
and
kind
the
of
entire
rushed.
weight of history was on us.
Thankfully, I think we pulled it out and we got 8 million people to watch the Muppet Show.
That's
so
true. And
we did a great job, Sam.
Yeah, that's been renewed for 5 seasons. So,
well, that is not true yet, but hopefully we at least get a few more episodes out of it, which it sounds like we might.
There is a rumor, that there's more on the way.
But yeah, it hasn't been us just by ourselves in a normal episode, which I'm not going to count the Muppet Show, and I'm not going to count the 200th episode where we just kind of bullshitted for a while.
Oh my gosh, it's been that long even before the Muppet Show that we were alone.
Yeah, the last normal-ish episode was An Evening with Jim Henson and Frank Oz, which was back in November.
An Evening with Sam Schultz and Matt Gatos.
Correct.
I think...
Tickets on sale now.
Why were you so scared of talking about the Jim Henson Hour with just the two of us, Matt?
I don't think I was scared. I think it was one of those things where the idea of having guests on for it was just exciting because everyone knew more about that show than we did.
Yeah.
So I think there was some people who have either a soft spot for that show or find it really interesting who wanted to talk about it. And so this is no offense to anyone in particular, but there have been a number of times where I reach out to potential guests who have expressed interest in being on the show. And we talk about, they know the concept of the show is we watch things chronologically. So I try to, when we're going to have a guest on, say, hey, here's what we're watching coming up. If you're interested in any of this, let me know, and we can figure out when we can have you on. Sometimes when I share that list and it just says Muppet Babies and Ghost of Fafner Hall for 6 months, people are like, cool, let me know when you get to Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, that's why Frank Oz has never been on the show before.
Yeah, he keeps just pushing it. And he's like, yeah, I really only want to talk about Muppets from space, so call me in 1999.
Imagine if we made Frank Oz talk about Muppet Babies. That might be interesting, actually. I bet he's never seen an episode of it.
It would be like when in An Evening with Frank Oz and Jim Henson when they asked him about Waldo, and he was like, "Who the hell is Waldo?"
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, "What's a nanny?"
The man's an artist. He's not going to sit around watching Muppet Babies.
It wasn't a choice necessarily to have a guest
for. You were mad at me. You didn't want to be alone with me.
Man, I can't imagine talking to this guy alone for this much longer.
You kept saying, "Tell Sam." That I said that Jim Henson was funny in this part. and then the guests would have to relay the message to me.
I think it was a weird time of, during parental leave, I had reached out to a bunch of different people because I didn't know what that time was going to look like. And I was thinking we'd have a bunch of interview type episodes, which we ended up having, Craig Shemin, Jeff Yorks, and Elise Willems on.
Mm-hmm.
But in that time period, I talked to a bunch of other people. And so I had a lot of other people who were willing and interested in being guests. And so I had this list growing of people who wanted to come back, people who wanted to be on them for the first time. And then after that parental leave adjustment period, we were going into this week by week Jim Henson Hour thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also sometimes more reasonable to ask people to watch one episode of a thing than 3 or 4 episodes of a thing.
Especially a weird, interesting thing, like you were saying.
Yeah. It really just happened. Many other weird scheduling things on this podcast, pure coincidence that we ended up having a bunch of guests for that show specifically. But I do think it'll be a while until we have a guest again. I think I want to keep it just the two of us for a while.
I think so too. I think that's fine. I like having a guest, but I don't know. When I listen to a podcast that doesn't usually have a guest and they have a guest, I am like, who the fuck is this guy? It's
very case by case for me. Sometimes I can feel like, oh, you guys chose wisely. This guest is great. They add a lot. Right. And other times I'm missing that original dynamic of my favorite people that I listen to. So I understand the one person who has emailed us and complained about that once, that there is a different tone that happens. My wife has said that I actually get louder when we have guests on. Like I get more rambunctious than when I'm talking to just you.
Okay.
Basically, she says I'm more likely to wake up the baby when we have a guest on.
Well, I have a very soothing energy, Matt. So
yeah, you're bringing me down.
I'm bringing the temperature down.
Yeah, but when we have like a Anthony Strand on, I gotta lift up my energy.
I'm like, sun's going down, big guy.
Oh, I'm the Hulk. You're my Black Widow.
Yeah. That was such a fucking weird thing in that movie.
Yeah. Having rewatched that movie somewhat recently.
Yeah.
That is an okay movie.
Yeah.
But that moment, every time it happens, you're just like.
And Black Widow's their mom.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Their mom and their girlfriend. Shut up.
Yeah. Someone was working out some shit in that script in regards to Black Widow.
Yeah.
But Sam.
What?
I still haven't said what we're here to do today.
Oh, God. We alluded.
I think, there's a title on podcasts. People aren't surprised.
Yeah.
But this week, we are returning to the nursery to begin another season of Muppet Babies because it is September of 1989. The new shows, the new seasons are hitting the airwaves, and it is season 6 of Muppet Babies, which does happen to be the shortest season of Muppet Babies, clocking in at only 11 episodes.
All, even episodes, even seasons that come after this one are longer than this one.
Yeah, Muppet Babies, I don't know how much there will be to find out about the reason things are the way they are. But the release schedule of season 6 and 7 is particularly weird, where the last episode of season 6 airs on November 25th. And then the first episode of season 7 airs on December 2nd.
I think it's probably, I would guess, I think we talked about this before too, that like Netflix will do this where they'll make 2 seasons of a cartoon, but it's clearly just they chopped one season in half and it's to fuck union stuff over usually. Like it's always just to fuck over the animators and make things cheaper somehow.
Yeah, and that's what I assume something like that is happening. So we'll actually have Ghost of Fafnir Hall will overlap with the end, like with season 6 of Muppet Babies and the beginning of season 7 of Muppet Babies.
Right.
But they also do again, a weird choice where season 7 airs the first 5 episodes of season 7 in December of 1989. And there's only 15 episodes. So a third of the episodes all happen in 1 month. Then the next 2 episodes air as normal in the first, couple of weeks of January. But then episodes 8 through 15 are held until September of 1990.
What the hell?
So they do essentially the 11 episodes of season 6 and then run immediately into the first 7 episodes of season 7, wait like half a year, and then air the second half of season 7, which, thankfully there's no continuity being ruined
Right.
here.
And kids don't know. I never knew. Like, I would
No.
watch show. I think I said this before too, but I would watch shows, and then 10 years later, it'd be like that show was made a decade before I watched it on TV, and I had absolutely no idea.
There's also a lot of unknowns here because, no one was keeping great records of Muppet
Right.
Babies. So a lot of this is based on air dates in one specific place, either the New York Times TV listings or something. But there's not a lot of production information just out there about Muppet Babies either. And so I'm sure someone has an answer, is what I'll say. That answer has not been made clear to me on the internet of why this happened. I'm sure someone at CBS was like, hey, we're actually going to cancel this other show that we dislike. And so we need a cartoon to fill this gap from the end of the year through January, like the rest of the season. Can you air the episodes of season 7 that you already have complete? That's a lot of speculation, but it's a weird enough thing that that's probably what happened.
I mean, there could have been a production delay or something too.
But they were ahead.
Yeah, I suppose. But they took a 6-month break. So why did that happen?
Great question.
Who knows?
Again, we may never know. Maybe we can.
Probably no one has ever cared in the history of humankind. Even the people doing it, probably if we asked them, they'd be like, what? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like the exec would be like, I don't
we
know.
have to find like just the right
Fuck
person
off.
because a lot of people, this probably was just a job.
Right.
Or they didn't think about it at all of when it was airing. They wrote it, they voice acted it, and it was done and out there. And they're like, I have no idea when that thing came out.
Oversee animators probably, absolutely had no idea.
Yeah, so we have to find just the right person who was involved in those decisions, who was like, it was a really stressful time. We had to rush the first 7 episodes of season 7 to have it done on time, and CBS was breathing down our neck. And
somebody actually probably was really proud of themselves for figuring out.
And they're just waiting for someone like us to come along and ask them.
It would have been the 1989 version of Us, probably, where it would be like some stressed
public
out producer.
access TV show being like, hey, we got the executive producer of Muppet Babies here with us this week to talk about what's going on with season 7.
Yeah. Hold their feet to the fire. Explain yourself. In episode 10, Miss Piggy said this. In episode 15, Miss Piggy said this.
Yeah. This week specifically, I would have some questions about, I will say.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, I think I do too. I think there were some things in this that kind of scared me on a deep level. But you know what also is bad? That we watched Ghost of Fafner Hall last week, and one of those episodes took place, or one of those episodes aired September 23rd or whatever, 24th. And then we watched Muppet Babies this week, and one of those episodes aired September 23rd. And I thought to myself, what the fuck, Matt? You're making us go back in time and for 2 shows that suck.
I mean, you're not wrong. If it helps at all, we're moving faster than we did through Jim Henson Hour.
That's a good point.
Because Jim Henson Hour, we were moving week to week.
Yeah.
And so we were in real time watching that show, essentially.
We did jump ahead several years every now and then, though.
Yeah, but at least now we're, knocking out 3 weeks at a time.
That's true. That's a good point. I take it all back.
But yeah, I guess 3 weeks every 2 weeks is the rate we're at. So we're just moving a little faster than real time right now.
And imagine the sicko who back in 1989 was like tuning in for Muppet Babies, then the next day tuning in for Ghost of Fafner Hall. They're 2 favorite shows. Yeah.
I mean, again, we are not new Muppet fans, but, we weren't alive. Or we were alive. We weren't the age to be choosing to watch Muppet Babies in Fafner Hall. But I have to imagine there was some Muppet Show diehards back then, too, being like, I'll watch anything that Jim Henson puts out. I got to watch Muppet Babies. I got to watch Fafner Hall, even though every time we talk to somebody about Muppet Babies, they don't really have great memories of it, aside from Nick Jenkins.
Well, yeah, I think everybody has this platonic idea of what Muppet Babies was.
For sure.
For some reason. But it doesn't ever hold up to. There's maybe been 1 episode that's been good in the entire thing.
Which, again, it's a baby show. We understand that's what's going to happen. But at the same time,
I like a lot of baby shows.
Yeah.
I don't like this one.
Well, spoilers, I guess, for this conversation. Sam doesn't like Muppet Babies. And to answer the multiple people again who have told us we don't have to watch it, shut up.
I'm one of those people, Matt. I'm one of those people. I was sitting there watching it this time thinking, is it too late to tell Matt that we don't have to finish watching Muppet Babies?
Yes, it is. Because
too
Sam,
late. It is.
imagine a world in which 5 years from now, someone is asking, oh, did you guys watch all of Muppet Babies for your podcast? And you can say, well, we actually stopped with like 2.5 seasons left.
That's really like, that's
a shame. That is way worse than watching all of Muppet Babies.
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. That's a black spot on our record we just aren't going to be able to shake. You're right.
Well, before we get into Muppet Babies, I want to sort of just feel out, now that we're a couple weeks out, how's the Muppet Show special sitting with you? Reflecting back, seeing the public's reaction to it. When we talked about it, it wasn't out yet, so we didn't know if other people liked it.
Yeah.
How's it feeling?
I think I've talked to a couple people that have said, man, I didn't really like it that much.
Oh, interesting.
I think is interesting too, because I feel like it's been pretty, I guess I would say it's been pretty widely liked.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say
even
that.
parts of it that, like, I knew as I was watching it and I was like, this Rizzo part's stupid. In my head, I was like, somebody's going to like this Rizzo part.
That was me.
And that
I
was
enjoyed
you
the
and
Rizzo
other
part.
people I've seen be like, that was my favorite part. I don't understand why that would be their favorite part, but
there's a certain T-shirt Muppet quality to Rizzo that I think slapping Rizzo and The Weeknd together just delights some people.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. And I think from my part, as I think about it more, I do think it bothers me that there wasn't kind of like, I feel like the Muppet Show, this might be a controversial take. The old Muppet Show had a bit of a mean-spirited little edge to it sometimes. Where, and I think it was coming from Kermit. Like, Kermit had a bad attitude and that he was a fun foil to everybody. Yeah. And I think the more I think about how Kermit wasn't that and how wholesome this felt, for the most part, I think Sabrina Carpenter kind of played the role of the little bit of the unwholesome element, but wasn't mean-spirited or anything like that. I think it just felt it felt too nice in a way that missed the mark a little bit for me.
Well, and I think that earnest moment at the end that we talked about that we didn't love, feels like they're pulling the emergency brake.
Right.
On like, what if Kermit was too mean in the way he talks about the other acts in this? Or like Kermit, and it's like really funny then that the solution is Kermit to, again, not put anyone on the show and try to a cappella sing Queen by himself. And I'm like, that's the meanest thing he could possibly do. But you don't play it that way. You play it sweet.
But like, but that was accidental. Yeah. Right.
Right. And so I totally understand that. And I was like rewatching Muppet's Valentine's show yesterday, because it was Valentine's Day yesterday as we record this. And the Kermit in that is such a chaotic Kermit because he is not the host of that one. They have the weird typewriter sunglasses man whose name I've already forgotten.
Guy. I feel like his name's Blue Jeans, but I know that's not right.
I think it's maybe Wally.
Wally is right. I think Wally is right.
Yeah, but Kermit in that is almost more like a Fozzie or a Gonzo, where he pops in just to be like, everyone, I got something to do now, and look at me.
He sings like an annoying song about frogs, right? He
is the Froggy Went A-Courtin'. Yeah, but in that moment right before that, crazy Donald blows up a wall, and Kermit runs in and is like, hey, everyone, look at me. Look at me. And then it's like, no one's looking at him. So he's like, if you were looking at me, you'd be looking at a frog who was once in love. And he just like takes over the show.
Yeah.
But in a very chaotic way. Which is kind of how he was in
Sam and Friends too. He was a little chaotic in that.
Yeah. So watching that Kermit did make me miss having a little bit of that, which we did have on the Muppet Show originally, where he's a little bit of a dictator at times. Right. And he can be a jerk. He does make people upset. You know, we have that where he's having to cut acts in the new Muppet Show and try to cut Piggy's act. But he doesn't get to be mean about it. He just gets sad about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Something else I thought about that special, I think we had maybe not predicted, but maybe hoped that Clifford might make a reappearance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did.
We were talking about some like characters that we would like to see in a new Muppet show, and I think Clifford was one of the main ones we brought up. Of like, you know, you can
Put him in the
recast
orchestra
Clifford
pit with everybody. I think that's good.
Hell, you don't even need to like fully recast him. You could just toss him in the arches, like you did with Baskerville. Like you just acknowledge his existence. I think is maybe more what I'm thinking. But we did learn a couple things since that aired. We, or at least I, was very hung up on the Employee of the Month plaque in that one hallway scene, being like, I gotta get a look at that. Turns out I have had a look at that once before because
really close.
It is the Employee of the Month plaque that was previously in the Pizza Rizzo restaurant at Walt Disney World.
That's really nice. It does say like best pizza eaters or something like that.
Yeah, like if you actually could read it, it would be a problem. But having it out of focus on the side, I think is great. Also, the Muppet Labs sign that was previously blocking off a staircase you weren't allowed to go into outside of Muppet Vision is on the wall of Muppet Labs.
Oh, okay.
And it's, I'm glad that those props weren't just tossed in a dumpster.
Right.
And that they were reused in a production and not just put in a
thing.
museum somewhere.
Yeah.
And I imagine there's even more that we don't know about. I would love to have, one of the production designers or something on the podcast to talk more about that. But I appreciate the reverence for Muppet Vision.
Right. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of props and flats and stuff they could that are in that waiting room in Muppet Vision that they could have taken to do something.
I feel like I saw somebody mention that one of the flats from the studio store is in the background of one of the shots.
Right.
Backstage.
I wish we'd gotten to go in there.
We could have broken in. It would have been the last time we ever went to Walt Disney World, but we were close enough and no one was really around. So
we could have done a Ghostbusters thing where we wore like maintenance outfits and said, "Hey, we're working here." I think the more I think about it, the more the ending was a big whiff for me in that I haven't thought about it for 1 millisecond. The Queen song part specifically. And I think it was a missed opportunity to not have a classic, like everything explodes at the end. This is a big disaster, but we pulled it out anyway kind of situation. Yeah.
It was almost too heartwarming.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Which is not something like the Muppets are heartwarming after everything goes wrong, and then they only pretended like everything went wrong, and it didn't actually, and Kermit was just being a baby.
Right, like if they had made the desperation a part of the plot, like that could have been interesting, because the fact that Kermit mentions at the beginning of the episode the thing we saw in the trailer, which is we're back on the stage where it all happened, and it might continue to happen if tonight goes well. Yeah, that's setting up a lot, right? But there's nothing else that follows up on that throughout the entire episode. Even when Kermit at the end is concerned that nobody liked it, it doesn't feel like he's concerned because they're going to get canceled or not get to do more episodes. He's just kind of bummed. Yeah. But if they had this, Seth Rogen, the executive producer, they're cutting his act. If he got to be like a little bit of a dick and threaten them to be like, you're cutting my act, I decide whether or not you make more of these. Yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. Seth, you go on with Gonzo. You two, you're going to have to share an act.
That would be fun. Yeah.
So again, we're going to be nitpicky because they gave us one episode of this thing to talk about. But there are certain things like that where I look back and I'm like, I really liked that. I do wish this was a little different.
Yeah. Or even if he had been... If that as a part of we're back, we might not come back. Everybody's got to have it. Like everybody wants to be on the show really bad because we're back. So I'm saying yes to all these acts, and then have a couple more scenes or just have like the backstage plot be like different Muppets coming up to him and being like, "You're gonna put us on, right?" And like threatening him, or have like a cute act like Bean could be like, "Kermit, I'm going to get to do my act, right?" Or like Bean and his siblings or something. And he'd be like, I don't think you're going to be able to do it. And then they're like crying really sadly. So then Kermit is just like, I really fucked up. Like rub it in his face a little bit more that he fucked up. Then I think he could come out at the end and be like, I let a lot of people down. So we're going to have every act at once. And then it's crazy or something like that.
Well, because they have, not every episode of the Muppet Show is Kermit being mean. You can have heartwarming moments on there. Yeah. But I think what you could do exactly, kind of what you just said of, he realizes, oh, I actually hurt somebody's feelings, or oh, I was so caught up in trying to make the show run that I didn't think about this or this or this, and he feels bad, and so he has to make up for it. But even his making up for it is a mistake in some ways. I think that could be really interesting. But they just, I don't know what they did or didn't want to do in some ways.
Yeah, totally.
I will say, I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to recommend this because I haven't listened to it yet, but I know Griffin Newman, who was in the audience of The Muppet Show, was just on the latest podcast, The Ride, and talks about being on set and making The Muppet Show. So if you want more information, you can go listen to that.
Yeah.
I also know that a lot of the puppeteers and behind the scenes people have been sharing a lot of fun behind the scenes photos on Instagram lately. So you can see a lot of great behind the scenes photos of the stage and all these different pieces that they actually built.
Yeah. I mean, I know we're complaining, like you said, but when we watched it, it was fun. And I think if it was coming out every week for the last few weeks, we wouldn't be thinking about that one episode and thinking, oh, I wish they had done that. Because we would be like, oh, they had Jacob Elordi on and he and all the puppets were swooning over him and they did a Frankenstein thing or something like we would be thinking about that instead. So I think the ultimate mistake was just making one at the end of the day.
Yeah, they could bring in Mulch or whatever his face is,
exactly.
the Frankenstein Muppet, and be like, hey, looking pretty good, Jacob.
Yeah, we all want to look like you.
People keep mixing up the two of them backstage.
That would be hilarious, yeah. Or, Mulch would be like, oh, you look terrible. You looked much better.
They think you look like me? Oh, that's so embarrassing for me.
Yeah.
The last thing I will say about that special for now is something that the Muppet Show would do occasionally that I think could have helped this episode have a slightly more either complicated or conflict-filled backstory, like backstage, is introduce a new character that's there only for this episode. Like, sometimes you have a health inspector show up or, the owner of the theater or that kind of thing.
Right.
Like, we talked about how it was good that they didn't lean too much on nostalgia with like, here's your greatest hits characters. Everyone's going to say the things you want them to say.
Right.
But I think there was maybe a little bit of room for bringing in someone who wasn't on the original show.
Like as an act, like playing up the aardvark and the armadillo.
Yeah,
and the tutu
like I think it
kind
could have been somebody like that, like who, the gargling gargoyle who gargles Gershwin, like that kind of thing, where you have an act of the week who isn't somebody we've seen before.
Yes.
And like maybe that's the person who gets really pissed at Kermit and is like threatening him. Like you could have a mobster, like not Johnny Fiamma, but somebody else like being like Scooter, coming up to Kermit and being like, I think these guys are serious, Kermit.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like the idea of Seth Rogen being more of the JP Gross of it. And
yeah, since the episode came out, I've actually watched a few episodes of The Studio, which is a show that I don't know if I can keep watching because I don't do well with like cringy, awkward shows.
Oh yeah.
And his character is so inept at times that I just want to turn the TV off.
Right.
But I think if he was a little bit more of that guy, either inept or mean or whatever.
Where he's like, where at first he's like, oh, Kermit, you're doing a great job. And then by the end, he's like, if you don't pull this together, I'm going to fuck you up. Yeah.
And like they have to, tie him up in a closet or hide him somewhere. And then at the end, he can have the same lines of, they didn't use me, they used the armadillo. That guy's not canon. Yeah. But he's watching through like a hole in the side of the building or like he's up in the rafters, Phantom of the Opera style or something.
Yeah.
And not just, oh, okay, yeah, I accept this. I'm in the crowd. It's fine.
Well, I can understand the impulse not to be like, I'm going to make the star of the Muppet Show me.
Which I appreciate that he lets Sabrina Carpenter shine. He lets Maya Rudolph shine.
Yeah.
And isn't all about him.
Yeah. This is something that just occurred to me. That's really stupid. But for some reason, I was on Reddit reading about pinball machines. And somebody had done like a comparative analysis of the most popular franchises that have never had a pinball machine made out of them, and Muppets was one of them. It was like Muppets and Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. And somebody suggested a pinball machine from Muppets where Statler and Waldorf are on top of it, and they make fun of how you're playing pinball. Wouldn't that be
very
cool?
Good. Yeah,
I love that.
I mean, as a very bad pinball player, I feel like I would not want that to happen to me.
Yeah,
but I would also accept it.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I wonder if there's like a sense of gambling to it that Disney specifically tries to stay away from
That's
with like children's
true.
characters.
Right.
I don't know. I know this is like literally an argument from like the 1930s or whatever about if pinball is gambling.
It's like Matt wants to ban pool halls.
Yeah. We got trouble.
He wants all the kids to be playing in the orchestra instead. I think if any Disney property could have a slot machine, though, the Muppets would be a pretty natural fit for a slot machine. I don't think I'd be shocked to see them.
Man, I just love the idea of if Rolf just became the face of the sellout portion of the Muppets.
Yeah.
Where he's just like the old timer who's got his own tequila. He's out there pushing things.
He's George Clooney, right?
Hey guys, Muppets are short on cash again, so buy the new Kia.
Like that commercial from back in the day where he's like pitching the dolls and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and I think this is fine. Like I would be okay with that. I know that people would be very mad, I think, about that. But I think Rolf could get away with it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're right.
Well, Sam, what did we watch this week?
I think the first thing we watched is This Old Nursery, air date September 16th, 1989. The babies are, once again, playing an outside sport inside, which they should not be. This time baseball, which is one of the worst sports to play inside, I would say. So they're playing baseball. Kermit goes running for a pop fly, and he ends up smashing through a wall of the nursery. They all take it very well, and inside the hole, they find an old cookie tin full of pictures of previous residents of the playhouse. So Nanny calls a handyman to have the hole repaired, which all happens suspiciously fast. It seems to be nighttime. Is it nighttime? Or am I imagining that it was nighttime?
I mean, again, because we're locked inside this nursery for all time, it's really hard to judge.
We don't know.
But presumably these kids go to bed pretty early, so I don't think they're playing baseball at 8 p.m. or anything.
I guess not.
But she at some point, she's like, oh, look at the time.
Oh, look at the time.
I better go call the repairman. So I think it's probably afternoon, early evening.
Right. It's almost like they live in some kind of facility with a support staff available to do things
right.
Like
I just have to ring this bell on the wall and like 6 repairmen will be down quickly.
And while the repairman's doing his repairing, the babies imagine previous residents of the house, from cavemen to prominent Revolutionary War figures to Noah from Noah's Ark for some reason. And then before the hole is sealed, Nanny and the babies add pictures of their own to the tin for horrified future residents to find and be like, what happened here? Then we watched And Now a Word from Our Muppets, air date September 23rd, 1989. Nanny is having a garage sale, and the babies want to help make it a big success, so they decide to, like we were just talking about, make a commercial for her. Because what are the Muppets if not guys that make commercials? It all starts pretty straightforwardly enough until Piggy decides that they need a show for the commercials to interrupt and starts making up her own soap opera. The commercial interruptions get more and more frequent until the soap opera and the commercials smash into each other. Then Nanny comes in and basically is like, that idea is stupid. Don't make a commercial for me. Paint this sign instead. So they paint a sign instead. Finally, we watched 6 to 8 Weeks, air date September 30th, 1989. The babies sent in a bunch of box tops to get a mail-away playhouse, and they've been waiting for it for like 2 months. But it's supposed to show up in 6 to 8 weeks, and it's been 8 weeks, so it should show up any day. And the babies have been keeping a vigilant eye out for the mail lady with their package. In the meantime, they take turns imagining what their playhouse could be like. Fozzie imagines it as a Mickey Mouse Club type clubhouse, Skeeter as a haunted house, and Gonzo as a home of the future with a robot butler. When it arrives, though, the playhouse is actually just a tiny little model of a house, but the babies are too excited to care or be mad about that, and they just go about painting it and decorating it because they're just an upbeat bunch of babies.
For some reason, that part really upset me.
That they weren't mad about it?
Yeah. The whole episode, the way they're acting, like these babies are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Because that is not going to live up to expectations.
Yeah.
And then it very much did not live up to any of the expectations they had laid out in this episode. And I'm like, uh-oh. And they're like, it's fine, Nanny. Why?
I guess you have to do a little bit of a calculation of, do you want to teach children that they're just going to get screwed over at every opportunity and nothing is going to be as good as they imagine it's going to be, which is true? Or do you want to teach them how to make the best of that the world is shit? And I guess they went with the latter one, but I don't know. Nanny at least does acknowledge, like, it does feel a little weird because the package is so small and you like wait for the other shoe to drop. But they do gloss over it in a weird way. But at least Nanny is like, oh, I'm sorry, kids. I'm sorry your playhouse sucks.
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing is, like, Nanny seems to be the one who's most concerned about this, where, you know, when they're saying it's the 8th week, they said it was going to arrive today. And the kids are like, well, I guess it'll arrive today. She has a moment to herself where she's like, please let that package arrive today. I cannot deal with these children if that package does not arrive today.
For 2 months.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. There's just the whole conceit of that episode and how it sort of falls off a cliff at the very, very end.
Right. And you could teach the kids an important lesson that all of that stuff is a scam and don't sell candy or like don't collect box tops because it's going to screw you in the end. But
yeah, I mean, we're jumping so far ahead right now, but I really enjoy Kermit in that episode.
Yes.
Because there are multiple times where he's like, what do they do with this? What is happening? Why is it this way? And like everyone else has like the baby reasons for things. And he's like, no, but I have more questions. This is why are we still doing this way? Why is this happening? And
I wrote that this episode felt like the origin of Kermit being like over all of their shit.
This is the moment Kermit matured. And the Kermit's like, wait a minute, guys. The rest of you are dumb babies, and I think I know shit now.
I think you guys are really annoying. Hopefully someday you'll grow up and be less annoying. However, they do not.
Sam, we are here to discuss Muppet Babies. The last time we started a new season of Muppet Babies was March 18th, 2025.
Oh, God. What are we doing with our lives?
Well, I had a baby. My wife had a baby.
Yeah, that's true.
Which slowed things down. This is my first time watching Muppet Babies as a parent, and I will say it hits different.
Does it really?
I'm more concerned about what these babies are doing.
Matt, you wouldn't let your child go up into the attic and play with an old saw?
I mean, from almost moment 1 of the first episode where Kermit falls through a wall from jumping off a chair, I was like, oh my God.
I don't think I could put that big a hole in a wall if I put my whole body weight into it.
It's such a big hole that the repairman compliments him on making such a good hole.
Great hole, Kermit.
Which is one of the great moments because Gonzo's like, it was his first one.
That was really fun. I like that Kermit made the hole too, because it felt like if any other baby had made the hole, well, I guess this isn't fair, really. Because if any other baby had done it, Nanny would have been mad. Because we've seen...
If Fozzie had done it, he'd be like, well, I guess they're, shipping me off again.
Well, that's a good point, too. The baby would also feel bad about it. But it's like Kermit knows he has plot armor and he can't get in too much of trouble.
Yeah. I'm the leader, okay?
Yeah. They're not going to ship me off.
No.
Gonzo, expendable. Fozzie, expendable. Rolf is very expendable.
Yeah, they don't even remember he's here most of the time until it's like, can we sing a song, guys, please?
Yeah, Skeeter, something happens to her, so she is the most expendable of all. We don't even know where she ends up.
Yeah. She eventually puts too many holes in the walls, and then he's like, you gotta
walls.
go.
She's in the walls.
No.
Yeah, they cask of Amontillado at her.
The last episode of Muppet Babies, you just hear a pounding.
Yeah.
As everyone else is in the moving truck leaving the nursery.
Yeah. Nanny's like, oh, I found another time capsule in the wall. Skeeter, let's go check it out. Do your thing, Mr. Johnson.
And he just slowly is like, you're not paying me enough for this. But how was your return to Muppet Babies experience?
You know what? I felt like these ones weren't that bad, honestly. I still don't like it, but I think there's way less time, and I probably have said this a million times. Since we moved on from just the one person writing all of them, in general, there have been less times where the fantasy comes in and it's like, what are you talking about? You've completely lost your minds. These all held together pretty well, and while I'm still annoyed that so much of it revolves around fantasy, at least I feel like the plots of them it's not like, I don't think any of these were a situation where the whole plot takes place in a fantasy. And I think that's what I hate, is where it's like,
Yeah.
this isn't real. You're not in danger, babies. But when they come to and they're like, oh, we're still waiting for the playhouse. Let's go check if anything's happening. Now we're bored again and we'll pretend. That's like a better rhythm for me.
We even have a moment where Mr.
like,
Johnson acknowledges that he's been like hearing the kids play.
Yeah.
He's like, they sure tell some interesting stories.
Yeah, and Annie is like, they're really annoying, aren't they? I'll put them in the attic.
Yeah.
You'll what?
And Nanny goes, I guess. Because in that moment, I was like, oh, Nanny, you've never sat and listened to one of their stories.
You're never in the room with these kids, so you don't know. They're
like, they do? What do they do? Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Off to the attic with you.
But so I thought these were fine because there was a lot of different fantasies, except now a word from our Muppets, but that one made sense. So I don't know. I actually maybe didn't hate these.
Yeah, if anything, I think there's an episode in here that the fantasies are too short for me.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like a Family Guy gag where they cut to something for one line and then come back.
Like
it's the
Flamingo
garage sale
Polo.
one.
I was like settling in.
It's that whole episode. It's the garage sale episode that it's and now a word from our Muppets that almost every fantasy in that for at least the first half of the episode is a cutaway for like one joke,
right?
And then it cuts back to the plot, and you're like, oh, we don't normally do that here.
Yeah. Can you do a Peter Griffin voice?
That's as much as I got, I think.
It's like his death rattle.
That's Ray Romano.
Yeah. Okay, you can't.
Lois.
That's pretty good. You're getting there.
It's there.
You just
I
gotta
don't want to be
practice.
good at it, though. I think
You
it's
just
the
gotta
problem.
practice. Start talking to your wife that way.
Yeah,
Holy
I don't.
crap.
I think if one day I was like, guys, you gotta hear my Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
That's when I think I've reached the end of my impression career. yeah. That's on my deathbed. I'm like, Sam, come close. And you're like, still not great, actually.
Yeah.
Keep working on it. And I just go,
I'm unplugging you. Beep. You think that's bad? How about the time when I was on my
fought a
deathbed?
giant chicken.
Yeah.
Yes. So the first episode we watched was from September 16th, 1989. This Old Nursery, or How We Found Out the Muppet Babies Have Read the Bible.
Oh, yeah. That's a great point. And they understood it very well.
Mm-hmm. This raises some questions.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think we've ever acknowledged religion really in the world of Muppet Babies before. Rarely in the world of Muppets.
Yeah, right.
There is a Noah dream sequence in Muppets from Space where Gonzo imagines himself being left behind.
There's a Muppet Show segment where angels and devils are like having sex with each other. Do you remember that?
I don't know if that's exactly how I would describe what I remembered, but I think I know which one you're talking about.
That's what happens after the skit's over. It's implied.
Ah, yes. That's the headcanon.
Yeah.
And
Devil
obviously,
went down to Georgia. Yeah.
Yes, which I think is probably the same devil puppet that we see in.
I think you're right. So there is a devil in the world of the Muppets, but no confirmation of a god, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, the Muppet Babies only believe in hell. There is no alternative path. Well, this episode opens up with the kids playing baseball inside. Fozzie is the commentator, calling himself Fozzie Garberziola.
Who's this supposed to be? I didn't look it up.
Joe Garagiola, who was a longtime baseball player and commentator. Right, he was at this time was a commentator for maybe the Mets. I don't remember.
And what does Fozzie call himself?
Fozzie Garberziola.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Garagiola, Garberziola.
It's not quite right.
It's not the best name we'll hear this week, but it's also far from the worst name we'll hear this week.
They couldn't quite remember what the guy's name was. And
Yes.
They didn't bother to look it up.
Right. That's why I listened to it a few times to be like, well, maybe he says Garberziola.
Yeah.
Because that would be at least closer.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he says Ziola.
I think
so.
you're right. Yeah.
Skeeter is the pitcher pitching to Piggy, who hits a long fly ball, which does cause Kermit to go back to catch it, falling off a chair and punching a giant dusty hole in the wall.
And everybody just is fine with it. And
yeah.
And the fact that Kermit doesn't even feel that bad about it.
Which I guess is good, you know?
Yeah.
Other shows, whether cartoon or sitcom, I could see a kid being terrified of what their parent might say or punish them or whatever. There's an episode of Full House where they punch a hole in Danny Tanner's wall and spend most of the episode trying to hide it.
Yeah, the Muppet. There could be an episode of this where they're trying to push the sofa in front of the hole in the wall, and
yeah. We read a book about feng shui, Nanny. But no, Gonzo reaches in the hole and pulls out an old cookie tin, which excites Animal until Nanny immediately crushes his dreams, letting him know there ain't cookies in this animal.
He's being a little bit of a cookie monster. That's exactly what Baby Cookie Monster would sound like.
Well, they open it up and find a bunch of old photos that were taken in the nursery, and it's wild because they're real old photos of real old dead people.
Oh, just like old human family, not illustrations, but collaged into this.
People that you could potentially track down.
Yeah, that's right.
Like one of these could be your great-great-grand uncle or something. You'd be like, he was on the Muppet Babies.
You're looking at IMDb for some reason. Yeah, you're looking up every member of your family. One episode.
Ancestry.com. It's like the only known photo of your great-grandfather is this one where he's in a cartoon nursery.
Because maybe they had to cut the photo up to make this or something. So
right. Like I assume they got this from somewhere. Like they didn't, they have to get a source. They didn't make these photos.
No.
So maybe these are photos that people could look at and say, oh, right, that's like a famous Norwegian royalty or something.
Yeah. But there is somebody out there who could look at this and say, dear God, that's my great grandfather.
Yeah. Which I thought was kind of going to happen with Nanny at one point.
Yes. Because the thing about this whole episode is she keeps saying lots and lots of people have lived here. How old could this house possibly be that lots and lots of people have lived there?
I mean, perhaps biblical.
Yeah.
We don't know where this house is located. So depending on what continent it's on, I
assume it's in I always assume it's in California for some reason because every cartoon is set there. But it is.
I assume East Coast.
Okay. Oh yeah, sure.
But we are assuming America based on accents of everyone.
Yeah.
Especially whenever there's another adult played by Frank Welker.
Yes, you know exactly what they're going to sound like. I knew what that handyman was going to sound like. It's going to
be Fred from Scooby-Doo or other Scooby-Doo character.
Or a little bit.
And they're going to have a last name like a bad guy on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. But Nanny's already old. So if a family lived here before Nanny lived here, I guess she could have bought this house to turn into a daycare.
That's part of the problem with this is Muppet Babies. I don't think you want to have people asking this many questions. I understand you didn't anticipate a podcast 40 years later doing so. But when you start laying out that seemingly this maybe was still a nursery in some way, this room.
Yeah.
But other people lived here that are full-on adults with their families.
Yeah.
Taking group photos in the nursery.
What was this room before?
It's such a big, weird room.
It's such a big, weird room with no door to the... Like, a big, weird room like this. Yeah, what the fuck would it be? It's like an attached studio apartment or something.
Yeah, it's good space.
Great
if you could get it, you could rent it out.
Space. Could be a good sunroom, a good... Yeah, But Nanny is like 60. This family has children in it who would probably be like her age now. And then if you say lots and lots of people have lived here, I mean, I guess people move in and out of houses. Not every home is a family home.
Right.
I think I just assumed she lived here for a very long time.
Right, or inherited it and she grew up there. She went to the daycare there in the nursery or something, and her grandma ran the nursery. Like, I think there's a lot you could assume.
And there's a little bit of an element of like, what are you up to, Nanny? If you just moved into this house and brought all these babies here, what's going on?
Well, Nanny is excited to find this time capsule, even though we don't get a lot of answers as to who these people could be, how long this time capsule has been here. I think
it is indeed dark out. I'm looking at the window right now, and it is dark outside.
I could see that being true. I could also see it being an animation mistake. that they colored the windows wrong, because there's a whole episode where Nanny has the wrong color sweater in this batch. So
yeah, that's true.
I think sometimes cartoonists make mistakes. But Nanny finds a magazine with Shirley Temple on the cover, which I guess there's probably some points in here where you could probably pinpoint the latest thing we see in the collage or the style of clothes or Shirley Temple and figure out like what is the oldest time this time capsule could be from.
And well, I thought, do you think multiple families have found this time capsule and put stuff in there themselves?
That was unclear because it did feel like they were talking about different time periods, but that's not really how time capsules work.
Yeah, right. Because
usually you make it once and you wait.
You're doomed to repeat the cycle of one of your children falling through the wall in this exact same place, finding this time capsule over and over again, and putting stuff in it.
Which, I mean, is what they do at the end. They are just like, I guess somebody else has to fall through this wall at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, Shirley Temple, this has to be, I guess, the 30s, based on when she was sort of at her peak, was like 30s, 40s. So maybe I'll do the math at some point. Maybe I won't. We'll see.
Well, the picture is from an ad campaign for Quaker puffed wheat that she did.
Okay. Look at Sam's got the research here.
1937 is when this ad campaign was coming out.
So the odds of that being on the cover of a magazine, probably not great.
Unless it was a magazine about cereal. Then
which, you know,
it could be.
Back then, cereal was the cure to what ails you, so why not?
Yeah, it had just been invented and was a miracle cure, is right.
Yeah. This was the most shocking moment, I think, of the entire batch of things we watched. When Piggy says, "Who's Shirley Temple?" This makes no sense to me for this show, a show predicated on the idea that these kids constantly reference and pay homage to old films and old things
it on their TV all the time.
There's constant Marx Brothers references and, you know, Beetlejuice references this week. So they're not only just into old timey stuff, they're watching new stuff. And in a season 5 episode of this very show, titled Muppets Not Included, Miss Piggy hosts a game show called Celebrity Circles.
It's got the receipts.
And in that episode, there's a clip of Shirley Temple as one of the celebrity guests on her game show, and they interact with each other. Shirley Temple has a line that's like pulled from a movie, and Miss Piggy responds directly to her.
Yeah. So either Miss Piggy has a bad memory, or we're not seeing the events of the Muppet Babies in a linear fashion.
I like that those are the only two options that you could possibly think of. You could play it off as Miss Piggy doesn't remember Shirley Temple because there are plenty of examples. They just did a whole new reel this week, I think, of Piggy not being able to name any of the other Muppets.
Oh, yeah.
Where she just doesn't know any of their names. She's like, Charles? And Kermit's like, Charles is not a Muppet. So I could see her feeling like she's a bigger star than Shirley Temple. But the idea that she's never heard of Shirley Temple feels not believable to me.
Yeah, especially I just got done editing the episode with Brian J. Jones, and we talk about those commercials for like Time Life stuff. Like, we call out that Shirley Temple commercial.
We do.
Because I think until the end of our childhood, I feel like Shirley Temple loomed extremely large over all of culture.
All the moms had commemorative plates for some reason. Why? I guess because of what Nanny says next, which is that she was a big movie star and all little girls wanted to be just like her.
Totally,
even the little girl in this picture who lived in this nursery, who I thought for sure
was me.
Yes. I thought we were going to find out at the end of this episode, like, oh, that's my picture of me.
Yeah. I got a little surprise for you kids. Turned out that was me the whole time. That would make everything less weird and creepy. What happened to these people? Again, where did they go?
If she's 60 years old, 60 years before this is the 1929. So she's pretty much the same age as Shirley Temple.
Yeah, perfect time to be into Shirley Temple.
Yeah, but at this point, Nanny takes off to call the repairman while Piggy imagines herself as somebody, maybe Shirley Temple, but also maybe as the little girl from the photo who lived in the nursery.
Yeah. Well, they eventually, at the end, they say we're pretending to be the people who lived here, but maybe
which
they're
was
a little
surprising when I heard that.
Yeah, they think that she's Shirley Temple, lived there. Maybe
I think they thought they made it clear but they didn't. I think she's supposed to be a little girl from that time period, like the little girls in Nanny references, who all wanted to be Shirley Temple. I think that is not handled very clearly in the fantasy sequence here.
Right.
And then when Kermit at the end tells Nanny, we're pretending to be the first people who ever lived in the nursery, I was like, are you? Is that what you were doing? Okay, sure.
Did this family have to just live in the nursery? And then they had an even bigger nanny who came in and took care of all them? The old man with the mustache and stuff?
There's really like a Stranger Things take on all of Muppet Babies that I think could be done of who was previously held in this government facility.
This was an earlier experiment. In the 30s, people thought...
We tried having adults and kids in a whole family. That was too hard to handle. Adults are, they can fight back. So
that's right.
We got to switch to just babies from now on.
Yeah. Or these were the first Muppets just looked completely exactly the same as humans. They're like, this won't work. No. We have to make them a little cuter.
Well, this imagination sequence is little girl Piggy concerned that she'll never become a star if no one can see how adorable she is because radio is the only technology of the day, which, again, I thought would turn into a thing of, hey, folks, we invented television.
TV. Yeah.
It doesn't, though.
They're just spinning their wheels here.
Well, and this whole episode is a little, you said that these episodes aren't terrible. I agree. I also think these episodes aren't much of anything.
Yeah, they are innocuous, completely innocuous.
They don't have a big central theme that you're competing with. They don't have a lot of, action pulling you through the story. They thankfully don't have the old Muppet Babies problem of a tacked on 5-minute sequence at the end.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, God, we forgot to write a whole episode. Oh, no.
They're Superman now. This one's the worst of them in that respect, though, I think, of this batch.
Well, because it again, I think it hints at enough things that you try to fill in the gaps. And so during this point, I'm like, oh, so maybe this episode is about being remembered. And the time capsule is somebody's way for how to be remembered. I'm so
disappointed in you that you're giving this show that much credit this far into it.
Oh, Sam, it gets worse because at the end of this episode, I was like, you know what they should have done? They should have, the whole plot of the episode should have been the kids trying to figure out how to make a good time capsule.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's something actionable a child could actually do.
Yeah. And you give them all assignments. You can break them off into teams, go find stuff. And it's like when they try to clean the house.
Yes, there's so many like this where it's like the real episode was sitting right in front of you and you walked just all the way around it 100 times. It
gets a little Family Guy-ish sometimes where they're like, yeah, we know that's the plot. But what if Groucho Marx?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, fine.
What if they're cavemen?
Yeah.
Why? Or another episode could have been they imagine in more detail, more specifically, the different eras of the playroom. That could have been fun.
That would have been great if every time they're going back further and further maybe, and it's specific to the nursery, the playroom, because that's kind of in all of them. Like you see the nursery in a lot of them, or like a cave version of the nursery, but they don't do anything with that.
They don't ever, the baby signed the baby Declaration of Independence here. Like they get so close to that, but they don't do it.
There was a moment in that Piggy section that made me laugh where Kermit says, the old clock on the wall says we're out of time. And it cuts to a cat clock who goes, we're out of time.
Yeah, that was really funny. I think like the jokes in the show have gotten better, which I think helps the whole thing. It's like the plots are not any better, but at least there's some stuff to laugh at every now and then.
I do think they're struggling with some of the characters, either feeling not consistent again or consistent in a bad way.
They're just all flattened out a little bit, I think.
Well, Fozzie's just stupid again.
Yeah.
He just keeps mispronouncing time capsule throughout this one, which is pretty much all he gets to do. Piggy is a weird character in these where she doesn't really want to play with the babies.
Yeah, she snitches on them for playing wrong a bunch of times.
And we've seen episodes in the past where she sort of wants to play her way. Like she's controlling and she's like, no, I'm the queen. There can't be another queen. I have to be this.
Right.
And there's a little bit of that in this where she's like, Skeeter's the singer. I'm the star. But it starts to go off the rails because suddenly in this, Piggy's character loses her voice, but it doesn't matter because she's saying one syllable, and that was enough to make her a Hollywood star, and she's going to go be a star. And so there's a whole parade. And normally, I feel like that would end with Kermit or somebody like glaring at her, be like,
Piggy.
"Really?
Yeah.
That's not what we wanted to do."
Right.
But instead, everyone's throwing her a parade and throwing confetti.
Yeah. I did kind of like the earlier in this where Piggy was like, "Oh, Skeeter singing," or "Oh, blah blah blah," and they kept being like, we're trying to set you up, like you're the hero of this. We're gonna get to the part where you get to be
Right.
cool. I did like that because that is kind of like her knee-jerk reaction is to be like they're overlooking her, but for them to be like that. But then yeah, at the end, she should have taken over. You're right.
But that's when Nanny comes in because the parade is so loud. She's like, "Whoa, what are we celebrating?" And Kermit tells her that that's when they're pretending to be the first people who ever lived in the nursery. And Nanny clarifies that those weren't the first people. A lot of people have lived here before.
Wow. No.
Yeah, this house is at least older than the 20s, apparently. And she says that the repairman apparently knows all about this house, and he will tell you all about this old house when he gets here.
And he doesn't not do that, right? Does he? I don't think he does.
I think all he says is the thing about it's older than the flood, which is not helpful.
No. And then he says, "Get these kids out of here."
Well, Nanny is the fair offers. He seems delighted by them.
Oh, okay.
But before we get to that, Gonzo finds a wishbone in the time capsule. Weird choice, old people.
Gross, weird, yeah.
Don't put organic matter in a time capsule.
A bone's okay. Like, notoriously, bones are fine. They last forever.
Okay,
They don't get stinky or nothing. I hope they washed it off good, though.
Yeah. But he imagines maybe it's a dinosaur bone from the Cluckosaurus. And so we see some caveman babies in a Flintstones-esque version of the nursery. Most of the babies are speaking in caveman, but this is one of the examples of Piggy not wanting to play along. And she just refuses and speaks normal English the entire time.
Yeah.
And the Cluckosaurus baby appears at the window, scares the babies, so they head out to track it down. And along the way, they confront the Cluckosaurus mother, who is gigantic and scary. Scares them back into a cave. And while they're hiding, they decide to sing a song.
Yeah. I think this indicative of this episode being just totally off the rails is that the song in it is about being a caveman.
Yeah, they are hiding in this cave, and then they stumble upon Kermit, Rolf, and Animal, who are in a band of some sort, a caveman band, singing a wild song called Caveman Days, with lyrics that include living in a cave, beating on stones, playing with toys that are made of bones.
It's a fun song. And I like that it was also about how it sucks ass to be a caveman. They're like, it's cold. We sleep on rocks.
Kermit says walking barefoot hurts my toes at one point.
Yeah. But this is where you think, oh, we could write a whole episode about being cavemen. And then we can write a whole episode about the Revolutionary War. And then we can write a whole episode about being on the radio. And now I have 3 episodes of Muppet Babies done.
But would that violate your earlier wish of not having the whole episode be in a fantasy?
Yeah, but I'm just imagining if I work on it.
Yes, to be fair, yes.
Then I could go home early.
As a video producer in my past, there was plenty of times I would tell people who were writing scripts, like, that's 4 episodes that you're trying to cram into one. What if we just made 4 episodes?
Yes, then we have to think of 3 less episodes than we would have had to before. No, you're right. You're totally right. Except I think they could do, like, this caveman thing was fun. So I think they could do some fun stuff with being. I mean, I think if there's not like, if they're not pretending like a dinosaur is really going to eat them, or they can do that. But if the cliffhanger isn't, we're about to get eaten by a dinosaur. If the cliffhanger is like, where's my blocks? I don't know. Something a real baby would be worried about. I think they could pull it off. But a whole caveman episode, that'd be fun.
Well, at this point, the Flintstones kids had already come and gone in the history of television.
Right. Rest in peace to them.
Maybe it was a little bit of a... yeah, they'd be like, oh, we'll show you how to do a caveman baby show.
Something on the Flintstone kids, yeah.
You tried to come for the throne and clearly lost. There's a weird line in the song that comes in really late, which is, we all have hair down to our knees. And we see the Muppet Babies get Cousin It hair, including Rolf,
who already does have hair on his
He is already covered in hair.
They all kind of are, except for Kermit.
I guess Fozzie, yes, but an animal. Yeah, I guess you're fair. That's fair.
Piggy, I would say, probably has a fine hair all over her body like a normal pig does.
Yeah, like a human.
Yeah.
Or a nice
human.
dusting of fuzz.
Yeah.
But just seeing Rolf have hair on top of all of his other hair,
yeah,
I didn't like
not
it.
good.
Well, after Piggy narcs them out and shows Nanny where they're all hiding in the closet and playing, it is revealed that Mr. Johnson, the repairman, is here. And of course,
Piggy looks
Mr.
so
Johnson.
mean in that part too. She's like got really mean eyes, and she's like, "They're talking like baby is Nanny. See, I told you."
Yeah,
Calm down.
The fact that continues into like the following episodes is a little concerning about what they're doing with Piggy's character. Where previously she was the smartest baby in the room, solving problems. Now she's just the narc.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Mr. Johnson is a classic Frank Welker man voice.
Yep.
He compliments Kermit on his nice, neat hole he made, which Kermit is like, thanks.
That was a really good, like, real feeling adult to child like interaction. Where I could picture myself saying, "You put a really great hole in that wall." Yeah, and the kid being like really confused by what I was trying to say.
Like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be proud of this, am I?
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Johnson finds an old key in the wall. This wall is just full of shit.
Mystery. It's like they're doing a point and click adventure all of a sudden.
Yeah, you found your key. But this key, does it matter what it opens? Of course not. We're not going to explore that.
Nope. No.
Because Scooter, the nerd, is like, this looks like the kind that Benjamin Franklin has in my picture book.
Shut up.
So suddenly a storm breaks out, and this is how Scooter dies, being electrocuted to death. No, but really we see Scooter as Scooterman Franklin.
Scooterman. And then people keep coming in and calling him Scooterman.
He's here to invent electricity with maybe his wife, Piggy Ross.
Yeah, that's right. They were married in real life. Deal with it. Yeah.
Piggy Ross is making the first American flag.
Were they contemporaries even?
Oh, yes. Yes. He says, not very confidently, because he knows a lot of the Betsy Ross stuff is not real.
Benjamin Franklin, 1706 to 1790.
And Betsy Ross is 1752 to 1836. So, yes. They at least lived at the same time.
Yeah. Dang, she's looking pretty good in the first picture of
I know what you're looking at. I can see that.
She's looking fine.
She looks like Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, why does she look like that? All the other pictures are like the classic old lady kind of version of her that you see. But I think Mr. Trump said, we got to get these historical figures to be sexier.
Yeah. Betsy Ross. Betsy Ross is a butterface. Got to make it better. I mean, yeah, like to be fair, there's some photos of Betsy Ross looking rough. No offense.
Yeah.
But she was only like 24 during the Revolution. So if any of these photos make her look more withered, like,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like there's also a lot of the Betsy Ross story that isn't what we all think is the Betsy Ross story, but this is not the time for us to Google and figure that out.
We could pivot our podcast to a history podcast where we live Google everything and look at the AI results.
The next 12 episodes are about Betsy Ross.
And I mean, I talk about want to have sex with Miss Piggy. I could just start talking about want to have sex with Betsy Ross.
Something about that is weirder to me because they're not like they're real people and they're long dead.
Her bones are still out there somewhere.
Like Betsy Ross's grandmother could hear this.
Miss Piggy's more real than Betsy Ross at this point. More people know Miss Piggy than know Betsy Ross. I'm so sure that's true.
I am sure that's true, especially in other countries. But yeah, they are. I'm gonna be thinking about that for a while.
Yeah.
But in this, Piggy Ross, the best of both worlds, is making an American flag that is pink, purple, and red. It turns out to just be the back of the flag. She did not actually get it wrong. My first thought was, should we sell merch with that flag on it?
Pink, purple, and
the pink, purple, and red. Like people a sticker or a pin.
Crypto-fascist thing.
Yeah, like I was thinking like a pin, enamel pin, like politicians wear, but it's the pink, purple, and red.
That's fun. So then we'll know in the future when someone's running for president that they're a commitment head.
Yeah, it's a true commitment head.
We endorse them, no matter their politics. There's more mass left on Earth that is making up Miss Piggy than is making up Betsy Ross. You know what I mean?
Well, because there's also multiple Miss Piggies.
Yeah, there's a lot of Miss Piggy weight.
And there's
out
one,
there.
not
There's
in a
just
great state, presumably
a
Betsy
little
Ross.
bit left of her. Yeah. Just her bones, suitable to put in your time capsule.
I think this is Betsy Ross's shin. I saw in one of those cursed picture books.
Oh, they should be more ghosts on this show.
Well, don't worry, Sam. We've got one. But before that, Scooterman's friends are here to sign the Declaration of Independence.
I wish his name was actually Scooterman.
Like the real historical figure?
No, Scooter.
Oh,
like
that's his full name.
There's an episode where he's like, yeah, my name is Scooterman Jenkins or something like that. Scooterman.
Like, everyone just calls me Scooter.
Yeah, they meet his mom and she's like, Scooterman?
Or it's like Arnold Scooterman is his full name.
Arnold Scooterman. I like that. Scooterman is not a good first name. Yeah,
no.
You're right.
But his friends are Kermit Washington, Abraham Lincoln.
Pretty good.
And Elvis Rolfe.
Fuck you.
That's the most we didn't try Muppet Babies gag of all time, maybe.
I mean, I feel like if we went back through, we would find a place where Rolfe has been Elvis with a better name than that, maybe.
Well, and didn't real Elvis show up at one point in the Muppet Babies?
I think this is another one of those things where it's like people of the age of people who are writing Muppet Babies were obsessed with the Three Stooges, Elvis, the little lady we were just talking about,
Shirley Temple.
Yeah, this is that boomer shit.
Yeah. Also commemorative plates.
Yeah.
All
the
over the
writer's
place.
room was covered in commemorative plates.
Piggy jumps in to correctly call out that Abraham Lincoln and Elvis were not there for the signing of the Declaration of Independence, but does not catch that neither was George Washington.
I just put in together. I think there's something that you could write you could write like a thesis paper about that commemorative plate energy morphing into MAGA. I think there's something there because there's commemorative plates of Trump. I think people who are compelled to buy commemorative plates, there's some link there. If you're out there and you're smart, write something about this. Matt, don't show me a commemorative plate. That doesn't count. That's an ironic commemorative plate.
That's fair. It is a McElroy.
The McElroy one don't count.
It needs to be a legitimate one that you have in a gold frame on your wall.
Of Larry, Moe, and Curly.
I have a friend who, when we were in junior high, had WWF wrestler commemorative plates on his wall in his bedroom.
And who did he vote for in the presidential election?
He's pretty libertarian, so, maybe there's a middle ground. It's commemorative plate energy, but it's still wrestling, so...
A child with wrestling commemorative plates.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But we find out from the Muppet Babies that these are the only famous Americans they could think of.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's just like, for some reason, it bugged me more than it should have that Piggy corrects them saying Abraham Lincoln and Elvis weren't there, but that George Washington also wasn't there.
Again, they didn't read anything. They just tried their best to remember.
Yeah. Well, this falls apart kind of quickly as Gonzo is yelling the 49ers are coming. The football team, I guess.
Why? Is it because they're Patriots? Or so did they mention that or something?
Maybe.
Okay.
No, because somebody says, like, I thought it was supposed to be the Redcoats. And he's like, no, they're playing in Cincinnati or whatever tonight.
Shut up.
So
I hate this show.
The Patriots would have been the better joke.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can get away with 49ers because it's not only a football team, like it's actual, like a term you could say and not mean the football players.
I guess so, but weren't they minors?
Well, it's also many, many decades later than the revolution. So it's not even from the time period.
Yeah.
So it kind of falls apart as Mr. Johnson continues fixing the wall. And this is where he comments,
shut those kids up.
So after the 49ers attack, I guess, Mr. Johnson is continuing to fix the wall. And this is where he's commenting, saying, a real solid building, this one. Seems like it's been here since before the flood, I reckon.
And is that a joke about, does he mean the biblical flood?
I think so, because I think that it's a common phrase, or was, of like, older than the flood.
Right.
And in my notes, I wrote Noah? Like, is he, what's about to happen? And it did pay off. But
it does, yeah. I did think that, at first I was like, their town was ravaged by a flood.
Right. I was like, this could go either way.
Right.
This is Noah, or there was a horrible flood that ruined this town.
Yeah.
But this is when he tells Nanny these youngsters tell the darndest stories. Sometimes I even forget what I'm doing, he says. And Nanny replies, haha, I see. Maybe you kids should go play somewhere else.
I think she says, I understand.
No,
right?
she says, I see. I wrote it down.
She
I
says,
listened to
see?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's like a pause. She's like, haha, I see.
Right.
Maybe you kids should go play somewhere else.
I took the I see to be like, you hate my children.
I
see what
See,
you're
I took it
saying.
as I hate my children.
Sure.
Why are you enjoying them? They should not be enjoyed.
Yeah. You shouldn't even be seeing them, honestly. Yeah.
But the kids end up in the attic where the rain is really loud. And I guess that I'm just piecing this together now because this all happens extremely fast. They go into the attic. They comment that the rain is really loud. They find old tools in the attic. And Kermit's like, gee, Mr. Johnson said the house was as old as the flood. Maybe they belonged to Noah.
I like when they go up there. They're like, I just love the attic. A child shouldn't know enough about the attic to love the attic.
Yeah, the attic should be a mystery that you went into once by accident and got scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if the commentary of the rain being so loud is supposed to remind them of the flood. And like you're supposed to feel like the rain is coming, so we have to build the ark.
The person writing this episode doesn't know either.
Yeah. But we do get Noah / Kermit building an ark.
Yeah. And I love he's at first he's like, we got to save everything. And then they're like, nah, we can't save everything. We'll save 2 of every animal. Nah, we'll just save our favorite toys.
Yeah.
Great. Goalpost moving.
Go forth and collecteth 2 of every toy and bringeth them back to the ark. Once again, Piggy has a problem with the way the kids are playing and talking in this one. She hates the if being added to the end of everything.
Oh, yeah.
And this one ends sort of sadly as Gonzo is struggling to find Camilla and mentions multiple times that he can't find her. And the last time we see her, she's like on the other side of a little pile of stuff that he still hasn't found her. And the nanny shows up to interrupt this play session, I guess, before Camilla is destroyed for her sins.
It's distressing. It's like distressing to think that everyone else on Earth is dying also.
Well, I got bad news for you, Sam. That's kind of what the Bible's all about.
I know, but at least Noah saved some stuff. The babies didn't save anything.
They had like a soccer ball or something, I think.
Yes, so yeah. The soccer balls reproduce sexually.
Yeah, this is how we got a lot of messed up animals. A Kermit had to reproduce with a piggy.
Yeah, and that is how man came to be. We're half Kermit, half piggy. I'd believe it.
Yeah, it's not that far off, right?
Mm-mm.
Well, Fozzie has the idea to make their own time capsule, one of the rare good ideas from Fozzie, and they're going to put it back in the wall before Mr. Johnson finishes up. And they bring in way too much stuff. And I think Nanny also knows they would probably regret putting a bunch of that stuff in the wall.
Your baseball bat? How are you going to fall through the wall again if you put your baseball bat back there?
So Nanny suggests, maybe I'll just take a picture of all of you and put that in the time capsule.
It might have been kind of funny if she had been like, let's seal up all your baseball stuff for someone else to find.
Yeah. Won't be a problem anymore. And that's where the episode ends, with a go bye-bye of Animal in a giant Cluckosaurus leg pranking Gonzo.
Mm-hmm.
The go bye-byes are changing now.
Now they're like, there's another episode coming up. Stay around.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So the next episode is from September 23rd, almost Sam's birthday, 1989.
I was 2? Almost 3?
Oh, no, right? You were about to turn 2.
I was about to turn 2.
You were 1 day away from turning 2.
Right.
This is called And Now a Word from Our Muppets, written by Sidney McKay and Larry Swerdlove, the couple who would be married at some point.
I don't get the usual thick sexual chemistry out of this episode that I usually do.
You didn't sense that?
No.
Oh, okay. It's worth noting the last episode was written by J.R. Young, a writer who will write a bunch of Muppet Babies episodes from here on out. But before this, the last episode, had only written one other episode, which was the Scooter by Any Other Name episode from season 5, where Scooter's trying to be cool.
Oh, yes. That was a good one.
I think I remember liking that one.
He comes up with some really fun names for himself.
But this one kicks off with Kermit preparing snacks for the kids, pouring milk into individual glasses for all of them to pour on their own cereals. Kermit's got a lot of responsibilities going on in this one, left in charge of preparing snacks for the kids.
This is the most Kermit-y Kermit we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this one and the next one, there are some moments where I'm like, that's a Kermit.
Yeah,
good job.
And he kind of hates Piggy more than he used to, too. He's kind of getting a little sick of her because I feel like in the past he's been willingly her boyfriend and now is a little bit more like, I was afraid you were going to kiss me.
Yeah, they also don't seem to be playing that up as much, though, anymore. Like, it comes up, obviously, but it's not the plot of every episode is, hey, Kermit.
Or Gonzo being horny, too. That's kind of gone away.
Yeah, we get that in one Go Bye Bye, but that's it. Well, Fozzie's eating floppy flakes. And he brags about them because they don't make noise, they have no taste, and they won't make you big and strong, and they stay extra soggy in milk.
Yeah, and nobody knows more about flops and flakes than me. I thought that was pretty good.
Nanny comes in from outside carrying a tire, a plastic flamingo, a ball, and some crutches.
A tire. Who's going to buy one tire at a yard sale?
Oh, I mean, we learned throughout this that Nanny's garage sale is maybe the worst garage sale of all time.
It's broken toys. I forgot about that. Crumbling records. Yeah.
Yeah. The kids are trying to imagine what all that stuff might be for. And Scooter says that maybe Nanny's taken up flamingo polo. And this is the first of a brief...
Family Guy.
Yeah, this is the first of a few Family Guy-esque, very brief 1 or 2 line imagination sequences. Very different from what we normally get.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much just what flamingo polo would look like. And that's the joke.
I really was like settling in and being like, okay, half the episode's going to be about flamingo polo. But no.
No. There's not even anything to say about the sequence itself. They just literally show the kids riding flamingos playing polo. Yeah. And then it cuts back to the kitchen.
Scooter is briefly a flamenco dancer for a second, which is kind of strange.
Yes, when they come out of the sequence, he's doing a flamenco dance.
Yeah.
Not commented upon.
Nope. And you just have to know what that's flamenco.
Yeah. Which I don't even know if it was.
I don't know either.
But he's doing a dance that I assume they intend to be flamenco dancing.
Yeah. They didn't look it up as usual.
Well, after that sequence, we learn that Nanny is actually getting ready for her garage sale, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
The kids are excited, but have no idea what a garage sale is. In another brief sequence, Piggy imagines it's, selling garages. And Nanny is the biggest seller of garages in the whole world. And all we see is Nanny's giant hands picking up presumably a full-size garage and saying, "Put your garage in my hands."
I like that this is where like a lot of the kids draw the line because they're kind of like, Piggy, that idea is fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's very... this episode's kind of just weird. Like all of the short sequences, all of the kids being like, that ain't right.
I kind of get a bad vibe off of Nanny too because she's putting on such a bad garage sale and she's kind of like a little dismissive of the children.
Well, she gets frustrated at one point where she sort of is asking them for help to, I think, carry stuff into the nursery. And they go, cool, we're going to go make a commercial. And she's like, fuck. Okay, fine.
Nanny,
that's not what I wanted.
There are 2.
Yeah. Well, Skeeter has the bright idea and actually rallies the kids to go ask Nanny what a garage sale is. Something the Muppet Babies almost never do is actually ask for clarification in the first 5 minutes of an episode.
Yeah, they're all getting sick of their ignorance, though.
She explains it pretty clearly, leading to Kermit to say, gee, who would buy this stuff?
Good question.
Yeah. And then we learn that Gonzo is a marketing expert because his response is, who cares? With the right approach, you can sell anything.
Yeah. We're about to get into something I thought was very interesting, which is that I feel like I learned more about commercials and the television production than I've learned about anything else in this entire show.
Well, and I feel like they want to say something, but not be too mean or satirical.
Right.
But there's a couple times where they want to drag the idea of commercials and the necessity of commercials and how it interrupts the best part of TV shows.
Yeah.
But before that, we have another weird imagination sequence where weird Gonzo, the salesman, is just trying to sell some crap. And in the middle of that, we get a very brief Ferris Bueller clip of him playing the cough piano.
The fuck was that?
I don't know.
They were just
but
like,
it was very weird because I referenced that scene like a week ago to my wife. Because my baby was coughing in a way that sounded exactly like that piano. And I was like, Hey, it's like the Ferris Bueller piano scene.
Did your wife say, shut up?
No, she was just kind of like, yep. And of course, I had to pull it up on YouTube and see, look, I'm right.
Matt.
Well, Skeeter steps in once again to be the voice of reason and suggests, hey, the kids should make a commercial to help Nanny with the garage sale. Ironically, Rolf says, we don't know how to make commercials.
Yeah. Yes, you do. You were made for a commercial.
Yeah, your origin story is dog
Several
food.
of you were.
But Nanny comes walking up. We see the full height of Nanny with her face blocked, neighbor Wilson style, with boxes and other things in front of her
She
face.
looked kind of good too.
I knew it.
She looked high, right? Sure. She did. Usually her sweater's a little bigger, but her sweater was like really shaped.
Fitting her real good this time.
Her sweater was really fitted this episode.
I was just curious if I don't remember if we've seen Nanny not cropped or if we've just seen Nanny. Yeah. Like, have we seen Nanny being blocked by stuff before?
We've seen her in imagination things as a little bit more of her, but not necessarily in her outfit.
Oh, right. She wore a helmet when she was driving an ATV one time.
And that was maybe her sister. I can't quite remember. But she has been, I think she was a pilot and we saw her whole body.
We definitely don't see her head.
But we've never seen her head. Yeah.
Well, the kids help by bringing the extra stuff into the nursery until Skeeter suggests that, hey, Nanny might know how to make commercials.
This episode sucks. The way that you're describing it is just like, why does Skeeter have to... Skeeter left because she got smarter than all the rest of them. And she was like,
she matured faster and was like, you guys are holding me down.
There's nothing for me here. Yeah.
So Kermit asked Nanny where do commercials come from in a nice, like, where do babies come from kind of tone.
Yeah.
Where I felt like she was almost going to be flustered of like, well, when an ad agency and a company love each other very much.
Almost a more useful episode than this.
Well, Nanny really tells them about ad agencies. And so Skeeter goes, all right, everyone, let's play kids' favorite game. Let's create an ad agency.
This whole thing is just like, we ran out of ideas. Let's just talk about what we do for our job.
But then we are in a commercial pitch room at an ad agency. This is where Mad Men got the idea. Gonzo attempts a commercial pitch, but doesn't realize commercials need to be for something. He just is like making an art film.
Yeah, he's an anti-comedy guy.
He's the, what's his face? Who's the artsy guy in Mad Men? The one who becomes a Buddhist or whatever.
Kinsey.
Yes, Paul Kinsey. Yeah,
Kinsey.
He's the Kinsey of the group. Someday we'll make our Mad Men Muppet
map them one
Dreamcast episode here.
Well, imagine a Mad Men Dreamcast game.
It might sound something like this.
Don's walking around the office doing a spin move. He's knocking. Yeah. I don't know what he was collecting.
For those listening at home, I just did a great impression of a Dreamcast character walking around.
He really did a good job, yeah.
Well, Scooter has an idea that's the most bootlicky of any idea and makes the most sense for Scooter.
Yeah.
He just wants to make a commercial about how awesome Nanny is.
Oh, no. He's going to call his teacher Mom someday.
Yeah. Sorry, Mommy. Oh, no. Scooterman, I'll see you after class.
Yeah.
But as Scooter's making this cute little commercial, Animal just interrupts him and is like, we're done here, dude. So Piggy, once again, shuts down this whole idea like she did in the last episode and is like, hey, instead of making commercials, what if we made the show that commercials go in? Which isn't a good idea for their current predicament of a garage sale happening tomorrow.
No, but I think it is it's a fun, like in a better show, it's like a fun heightening of like everything's spinning off into chaos, which is what happens. But as usual, is an accident, I think, on the part of the writers.
Well, Scooter whines that he never got to finish his commercial, which was something I was sure we had moved on from.
No, he only thinks about his mommy.
Mm-hmm. So he asks Fozzie for help. Fozzie's like, sure, whatever.
Somebody's asking me to do something with them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it turns out this was all set up for a song called Come See Nanny. A song about all the shitty stuff Nanny is selling at the garage sale.
That was kind of interesting, yeah.
It's Scooter singing it proudly and is excited to like sell you on this stuff, but it's one rubber boot, a leaky hose, brittle old records, and in his words, boxes full of stuff you'll never use, but the prices are so low you can't refuse.
Yeah, what are they? This is like an anti-commercial and an anti-yard sale episode.
It is like all you get is crap at garage sales. Well, after that, this episode does devolve quite a bit into just Piggy wanting to make a soap opera and the babies interrupting it at inopportune times for commercials of varying degrees of quality.
I kind of liked it. I thought it was all right because I thought like
I just couldn't believe it was still happening near the end of the episode.
It will go on it goes on forever.
Yeah.
It's like half the episode. When they introduce so it's Days in Our Nursery is what it's first called. And they're like doing a recap about why Piggy is sad. And it's because her boyfriend forgot her birthday and her girlfriend forgot her name. Do you think they meant...
No.
Okay.
I think they mean the way in that like your mom says, oh yeah, I'm going to lunch with my girlfriends.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I don't think they made like
a
Piggy
Piggy
in Muppet Babies canonically bisexual.
And Polly.
Yes, that seems unlikely.
Okay.
Kermit comes in to do a commercial for a box of already broken toys for less money than it takes to drop them down a flight of stairs.
If Nanny was listening to them, she'd have such hurt feelings.
Or maybe there was like two piles. One was the dump and one was the garage sale. And for some reason they saw the dump pile and they're like, wow, Nanny, you just got shit. Because the other things he lists are plastic forks and spoons, 2 vacuum cleaner bags, a full set of unmatched luggage, and an empty goldfish bowl.
Well, that's all crap you'd see at a yard sale, right? Like a bad one that you just looked at for a second. And
yeah.
Like, there's nothing here for me. If
you're selling plastic forks and spoons and a couple of vacuum cleaner bags, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But a goldfish bowl and unmatched luggage, that's fine.
Depending if you've cleaned out the goldfish bowl, which some people wouldn't do.
It does lead to my favorite line of maybe all 3 of these episodes, which is Kermit's trying to sell Scooter on this stuff. And he goes, wow, I love not having a goldfish.
Remember when vacuums needed bags?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now mine empties itself.
Whoa. Do you have a Roomba or whatever?
No, it's still a walk around vacuum one, but you put it on its stand and it just goes and like sucks out all the dirt. It's a little thing. I do eventually have to empty that.
Okay.
But it like compresses it and all this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, could you have a vacuum and a garbage can unit in one?
There's definitely some Roombas out there who are like tying up their stuff and sort of like blending up their garbage to make it a lot more. I did way too much Roomba research when we were having our kiddo because I thought like we're never going to want to vacuum again.
Yeah.
But we're going to need to vacuum. So maybe a Roomba.
All right. I'll stick to having good ideas about Muppet stuff. I won't try to invent new vacuums.
Yeah, that seems like a fool's errand. What we learned from Skeeter, you can't have TV without commercials, which, Skeeter, come on, you can pay for the pro plan later on.
Less and less these days. I feel like some of our plans have turned to commercial plans.
It does feel like they keep adding in commercials to things that you feel like you paid for no commercials.
I'm confused because I think like my Amazon has started showing me commercials.
Yeah.
HBO, which is kind of okay because like I'm watching The Pit, see a commercial, kind of feel like I'm watching ER. I'm a little okay with that, but I don't want to be watching a movie and see commercials. Yeah, if it's commercials just before something starts, That's fine with that. Yeah. In the middle of a movie, my least favorite kind of commercial. Yeah, whatever that service is, I will pay to remove those ads because I hate it. But we do get a kind of fun commercial from Fozzie for Bookie the Book. I liked Bookie the Book. It's like a toy commercial. You can use it as a fan. It's a toy commercial for books because babies don't know how to read. Right. For all the other stuff you can do with books. They come in many shapes and sizes and colors. You can use it to make you taller. You can use it to make things flat. Yeah. And when you get older and learn how to read, Bookie gets even better. Honestly, some of the stuff I use books for. I don't read that many books, but I have so many books. Some of them are holding stuff up. Some of them are for decoration. I think most of mine are decoration at this point. Yeah. I buy 10 times as many books as I read. Yep. I think is the rate I'm working at right now. That's okay, Matt. Me too. Well, this is where it starts to, devolve into this repetitive commercial format where nothing is moving the plot forward. We kind of have left the garage sale behind at this point because we're talking about books
in the middle of an All My Children parody.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually Piggy gets mad because her show becomes overrun with product placement, I think is what's sort of happening, because she's mad that they're making a commercial and Skeeter's like, this is the show.
And commercials anymore, yeah.
So a Nanny airplane takes her away and she ends up parachuting out of it. Nanny returns, learns what the kids have been up to and says, hey, kids, I don't want people to buy things just because they like your commercials.
And we all learn an important lesson.
That one felt like the most on the nose. The writers were trying to say something about the commercials they were probably seeing during Saturday morning cartoons.
It's a bit undercut by the fact that this whole episode, they've also been saying that everything that Nanny has for sale is complete garbage.
True.
And that they probably,
but I guess
probably
maybe
could use a commercial.
That's what they're saying, is that the toys you're seeing commercials for might seem exciting. The commercials make you really want them, but what you ultimately get might be crap.
Kind of what they're saying in the next episode, too.
This is the anti-capitalist Muppet Babies season, introducing poly-bisexual Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Muppet Babies gone woke. Nanny's like, hey, I want people to buy my things because they can use them. So how about you kids do something useful and make a big garage sale sign for me?
I love when the conclusion of Muppet Babies is Nanny coming in and saying that everything they did was stupid. I feel like it's happened 3 or 4 times.
I also think this is just as bad of an idea. Like, they're not going to be good at this. They can't spell.
They can't spell is right.
And
I guess
they
you
all
can draw the lines and they could paint it in. But
well, you see them all go off and they're doing 6 different paintings.
Yeah.
Like, is she just going to staple their stuff onto her garage sale sign and be like, good work, kids, you helped?
Oh, maybe she'll parade out her cute kids and their cute art, and that's her way to get people.
Yeah,
to
they'll make a bad lemonade stand.
She's using the Muppets to sell stuff, just like in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the Muppet Babies is kind of a precursor to South Park in a lot of ways, Matt. It has a complicated message.
I'm going to need you to explain this for the next 30 seconds.
Because every episode of South Park's, about like some way that society's like crumbling or failing us or like making a statement. Nanny's making a statement. The Muppets are there to sell you stuff, and that stuff is crap.
Are you saying that every episode of the Muppet Babies has been?
Just this one.
Oh, okay.
And maybe from now on it will be, because the next one kind of is too.
All right. Well, Piggy rants about her soap opera and would like to finish it. It bores all the other kids and the audience. So it ends just by her ranting and boring the kids. And Kermit says, good show, Piggy. We go to Miami. Sheesh. And that's the last line of the episode.
Miami catches some strays at the end of this. What did Miami ever do to Kermit?
Yeah. Well, just for the last line of your show to be sheesh. It's like, okay. The go bye-bye, which is not really a go bye-bye at the end of this one, is Gonzo, in Scooter's words, is fibbing about what comes next in the next episode of TV.
This was so weird.
Yeah, because Gonzo shows up and is like, hey, everyone, stay tuned. Next up is The Great Gonzo Show starring just me. And Scooter comes in and is like, that's not true.
Liar. J'accuse.
And so he promises that it's going to have him capturing King Kong, wrestling Rambo in a swamp full of alligators, and finally Piggy will marry me.
All things that have actually happened in the show before, I think, basically.
Pretty much. But Scooter consistently calls out that he is fibbing, and at the end says, that's not true. We'll be right back with all the Muppet Babies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, interesting use of the go bye-bye here to
weird, yeah, kind of
call out
weirdly,
Gonzo.
Like, scolding. I found it scolding. I found myself hating Scooter in this moment.
Well, and again, maybe if this episode was about lying,
yeah,
and like don't tell lies, kids,
yeah,
that might match up better.
It'd be the first episode of Muppet Babies that was about anything.
Hey, we had a lying episode. Wasn't there like an extra cupcake or something in season 1?
Oh yeah, Gonzo was eating cookies he wasn't supposed to, or something like that.
Well, the last episode we watched this week was from September 30th, 1989, called 6 to 8 Weeks. Also written by Sidney McKay and Larry Swerdlove, with perhaps maybe the saddest opening of an episode we've ever seen in Muppet Babies. Once again, reminding us that these babies are never allowed to leave the house.
No. Because
Scooter is staring out the window with binoculars and says the words, gosh, there's nothing out there but a bunch of outside stuff.
Yeah. What is he doesn't know what any of the things outside are.
Everything's green just outside stuff.
Green ground. Why is the ground green?
Yeah. what's the green outside stuff? And when does it become the blue outside stuff?
And we know that he's just looking at a screen projecting something fake.
Mm-hmm. Very Truman Show-ish. Well, he imagines himself outside as a park ranger.
That's a sad thing to say.
But very Scooter.
Yeah.
If anything, I feel like he would be like the deputy park ranger. Like he's not even in charge of anything.
Yeah. And he's not doing a good job either. His performance review's coming up and he's going to get in trouble.
Yeah, he keeps mistaking people for mail ladies. But he sees at first something, we don't know what, signals to Rolf, who brings a telegram to Animal.
Yeah, we're really on tenterhooks here, not knowing. And then the answer is maybe the mail lady, but it's not.
Yeah, because the telegram reveals Miss Mailman is coming. Well, this leads to Animal sending up chalk signals to a Skeeter in Native American garb. So Skeeter runs to tell the other kids that the mail lady is here. All the other kids barrel towards the front door of the house. But Nanny comes through revealing that the mail lady is not there and no, you can't go outside or look out there. What are you thinking?
Get used to this because it happens 3 other times in this episode, or like 2 other times.
It also doesn't look like they're outside. Like what's behind Nanny looks like just another room.
Uh-huh.
It's another version of the house just mirrored with other babies.
Oh, no. Yeah.
She was going to check on them. Whenever you don't see Nanny, she's watching the other Muppet Babies. That's where like Floyd and Sam Eagle and like all the Muppets that don't show up in Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
They're over in that other
They're
room.
Incubating elsewhere. And Bunsen and Beaker are like those smart octopuses that can escape from their enclosures. And that's why.
Bunsen and Beaker are here to visit again.
Came from next door.
This is what I wanted to happen.
Yeah, let's get them out of here.
It is unclear if was Nanny outside and Scooter thought she was the mail lady, or did Scooter just see a woman and assume the mail's here?
I think it must have been Nanny. I don't know. I'm not sure. Later on, the doorbell rings and they all go see who it is, and it's Nanny. What is she doing?
Well, there's one point where she has an excuse for why the doorbell, like somebody was at the door.
Yeah.
And then the next time, she doesn't even bother. She's just like, go play. Leave.
Yeah.
This is the episode, by the way, where Nanny's sweater is pink for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got to be an animation mistake. There's nothing commented on in the episode about it. But normally her sweater is purple and her skirt is pink.
Right.
And in this episode, her skirt and her sweater are like the exact same color.
The exact same pink. And nobody ever says, nice new sweater, Nanny.
Well, maybe that's what this episode's really about, is people not appreciating Nanny.
Yeah.
Not noticing her new cool sweater.
Or she ruined her sweater in the wash and she's mad about it.
Animal spit up on it.
Yeah.
Well, as the kids gather around a table in the nursery, we learn what's really going on is they have sent away for a playhouse, and it's a package they are waiting on. There's a small mention that it was Gonzo's idea to send away for the playhouse.
It's the best idea I ever had.
That's what Piggy says. There's not more made of that, which was kind of surprising, but it's interesting that they give a little like win to Gonzo.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, good idea, dude.
We were being too mean to this guy.
The Playhouse cost 5 cents and 25 box tops from his cereal box collection, which if you're collecting cereal boxes, you're not going to want to rip off the box tops.
No, you want a mint.
But a good child question comes here from Kermit, who says, I wonder what they do with all those box tops anyway.
What is the deal with that?
The box tops for education?
It's just sending in proof of purchase, basically.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit like when stores ask you to round up at their cash register, where it's like they could just donate money, but they're hoping that enough people round up throughout the year that it sort of balances
Offsets
out
it a little bit.
Yeah, they're like, we're already going to donate $5 million. So if we get like $6 million of people rounding up, cool, we made money.
But a box top's just a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, that's why I think it's more of like you purchased this thing and General Mills is probably donating to the education charity, whatever is behind the box tops for education.
It's a kind of a weird thing though, right? And they just throw them away, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're actually reusing them for anything.
Don't reconstitute them into more cereal boxes or something.
I don't think there's a giant warehouse full of the old box tops, but I do remember people getting really, really into them.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, a quick Google search says that schools can earn 10 cents for every qualifying product purchased by parents and turned into the school.
Yeah,
so
right.
You buy like an $8 box of cereal and 10 cents of that goes to your school somehow.
You're right, an $8 cereal?
Cereal's expensive, Sam.
Tricks. I'm searching Tricks. Oh, damn, it is expensive. You're right. I'm seeing $5, but
okay, but like
that's
at
a
least
low quality
$5
cereal for a nice cereal.
Yeah. If you're getting something with like a protein in there.
Yeah, a granola,
Yeah.
a magic spoon.
Yeah, that's going to be like $25.
That's like, yeah.
Fozzie's theory is that they've got a million topless boxes just sitting around waiting for new tops to be sent in.
That's what I would have thought as a child, I think, too.
I don't think I ever thought about it, but I remember my mom being very into doing it.
Yeah, for the school, right?
I guess, yeah. I'm not sure what my mom was getting out of it, but she was excited.
Mm-hmm.
But Gonzo comes in to say, hey, Fozzie, don't be silly. Everyone knows that those box tops get sent to the World Box Top Trade Center, where they're traded by all the box top collectors.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see what is, for me, suddenly a jump cut to the World Trade Center. Maybe too serious of a question for a Muppet podcast.
Uh-huh.
Is it jarring to you whenever the World Trade Center surprisingly comes up in things?
Yeah, I do. Even in movies where it's supposed to be there, it is.
Right, like 70s films. You're like, of course it's still there.
I mean, it left a huge psychic scar on the whole world.
Yeah, like we were in junior high. This is almost
Yep.
25 years ago now that 9/11 happened. But I think it's one of those things where at the time I had very little context and couldn't understand what really was happening.
Uh-huh.
And then a few years later, I'm like, that was extremely fucked up. What?
Horrible.
What's happening? Like, how did this happen?
And why did I sit in school and watch it all day?
I don't think I knew what the World Trade Center was.
No, before
that day.
Right.
So it's just a little odd to me now whenever I see it pop up, whether it's in a newer thing as a reference or in an older thing like this, where you're just like, oh, didn't expect to see those.
Is Kermit
right
not
now.
Standing on top of it in Muppet Take Manhattan or something like that?
No, he's on the Empire State Building.
Okay. There's some movie where, maybe it's
Home Alone
Kevin
2.
and Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a very, very long helicopter
Kevin.
shot where he is the only person on the roof.
Can get out of there.
There is a online fan theory that Kermit caused 9/11.
Oh, because that they're still there.
Yes, in A Very Merry Muppet Christmas when they show the
Right.
future without him, making the Muppet Show and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The Twin Towers are still there. So something about Kermit making the Muppet Show makes 9/11 happen in this fan theory.
Hey, why not?
But yeah, I am one of those people who has like a hard time with like 9/11 jokes are becoming more and more prevalent, I feel like now, like especially by like people who weren't alive when 9/11 happened or were babies.
Yeah.
And I understand the disconnect entirely,
Mm-hmm.
but it is one of my like I feel like boomer takes that I feel like
I can see that. Yeah.
I'm going to be maybe the only person in the room who has a problem with this.
I don't think that the jokes bother me as much, but when I see the towers, I do think those aren't there anymore. And that's not a fun thought to have.
Yeah.
Because it is also, I watched a mass murder on television when I was in 7th grade.
Right. And really couldn't contextualize what the hell was going on for years later. And then you look back and you're like, wow. Also, America became the worst fucking place in the world in the months after that.
And continues to.
Oh, yeah. We're still real bad. Just, I'm not saying we got really better, but it was a accepted racism amongst pretty much every American citizen.
Yeah. And the songs about putting boots up asses and various things like that.
And I won't say, obviously, not every American citizen, but like it was mainstream pop culture.
The mainstream culture was that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my reaction to seeing the Twin Towers pop up on the Muppet Babies.
Well, another thing I thought was, this is Wall Street, you idiots. But
they do immediately then cut to the stock exchange.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay.
They could have just called it the Box Top Exchange or whatever.
The box exchange is pretty much the same words.
Yeah, that's right.
But after that, Animal spots an ice cream truck outside. And Rolf spins this to say that, oh, well, maybe it is still the mail lady, but the playhouse is an igloo.
Oh,
so she needs to keep it cold.
Right.
There's something about this bit I really like, though.
Okay.
It does go somewhere, which is not typical of Muppet Babies.
Uh-huh.
So Rolf is like, oh, it must be an igloo. She's keeping it cold. And Kermit's like, I don't think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And then the babies keep spinning this out into like, oh yeah, you're right. Maybe she has to bring us the water and then we have to freeze it and build our own igloo.
Uh-huh.
And the kids get really bummed by this like 4 layers deep scenario they've invented of like, I don't want to build it ourselves. If we have to build an igloo, this playhouse is going to suck. And then Skeeter comes in and goes, wait a minute, guys. I think Kermit's wrong about this igloo thing.
That was pretty good. Yeah, you're right.
The picture doesn't look anything like an igloo. And Piggy's like, Kermit, why'd you say it was an igloo? And he shouts, I know it's not an igloo.
I'll never say the word igloo again.
Ever. He promises. But I really liked Kermit being frustrated by his stupid friends.
Yeah. And flying off the handle in classic Kermit fashion.
And getting thrown under the bus for something he did not do.
Yeah.
And everyone quickly being like, wow, Kermit's such an idiot. I can't believe he thought we were getting an igloo.
If they could figure out how to harness that more often, that would be pretty good.
But the kids will still imagine that they have to put together the playhouse when it arrives because they think, you know what, it's not an igloo, but it is probably way too big for a truck. So they'll probably have to bring it in multiple trucks in multiple pieces, and we're going to have to put it together. So let's imagine ourselves as construction workers.
And Kermit looks distressingly human and tall in this part with his little pants on, and maybe just Kermit wearing pants never looks quite right, even though he wears pants in this whole show. His proportions are just not right.
Yeah, when you have to give him like full pants, not just shorts.
Because they're on a construction site, and he's the foreman.
Well, and this is another follow-up to he keeps getting fed up with how stupid his friends are, including even Scooter. Like, Scooter is an idiot in this episode.
Right.
And usually Scooter is reliably
He's
smart.
the computer guy.
Like, he would have built the blueprints for the,
He's the Donatello of the
house.
group.
Yeah. Well, the doorbell rings, interrupting the imagination sequence. And this is when Nanny tells the kids that, unfortunately, it was just Mrs. Carruthers asking to borrow some butter.
There's a style Bible for this show, and all it says inside of it is next door to them lives the Carruthers. That's the only constant piece of information in this whole universe.
And that's how you keep the babies sane in this government experiment.
The Carruthers is like, it's some kind of trigger word or something. Yeah.
It means comfort to them. They're like, oh yes, Carruthers. I accept this as reality.
Carruthers. That's right. And now he's got a wife. He seemed like a single man to me. A guy with a bird.
He had a bird. Yeah. A man with a bird.
Sorry,
police
to everyone
officer
out there with birds. But,
yeah, but a police officer who has to ask the woman next door with 8 kids to watch his bird.
Yeah. Not a married guy. I was kind of picturing the guy from, you ever seen Game Night?
I have not. That's like one of those movies that's always been on my list because it seems really good.
You'd like it. It's fun.
I think so.
Yeah, it's good.
Ooh, who's the man you're thinking of in that?
Jesse Plemons. Jesse Plemons is their next door neighbor, and he's a police officer who has a dog who's divorced and just an extremely sad man. And that
Jesse Plemons as Officer Carruthers is your fan casting.
That's right. I was thinking while you were talking at one point about like a reboot of the Muppet Babies where, I don't know, like a kid is like walking past, he like at the end of the teaser trailer, there's like kids in a neighborhood and they walk past that window on the outside of the house, and then you see like a silhouette of the Muppet Babies. It's like
a two-way mirror though. Trailer. Like you can't actually you can't see them so that they can't call for help.
Yeah, or maybe like when the Muppets become public domain, like the Muppet Babies horror movie, that's gonna exist for sure, right?
Yeah, people making the Winnie the Pooh movies now are just counting down the days.
Yeah.
Until
just like a hand goes like a little
2057 or whatever it is when that happens.
And we have to be ready, Matt. We have to write the screenplay right now.
Well, Nanny reminds them at this point that the ad said 6 to 8 weeks for delivery, which Fozzie hears as 68 weeks. And it says, oh no, I'll be 1,000,000 years old by then. And Nanny will be about 1,000,010.
Barely even a year, you fool.
Yeah. So Fozzie's really bad at both listening and math.
Yeah, he's a baby.
They realize that 8 weeks is now. It has hit 8 weeks. And so they're all expecting their package to arrive today. And this leads to maybe one of the most useless songs we've had in the show since season 1.
It even has a fun button on the end of it where, well, anyway, talk about the song first.
I think I've said all there is to say. It's just a song about waiting for a package.
And Piggy's like singing about waiting. And then at the end, she says, we're all waiting, right, Kermit? And Kermit's like, well, sort of.
Yeah. It really, I went back and watched it again and be like, surely this was about something.
Yeah. And it's kind of a doo-wop song, too. We're back to the doo-wop.
Yeah, like, they have the caveman song, and
Fine.
that's not much of anything, but at
But it
least
had fun moments in it.
yeah, the caveman and the nanny songs were at least something.
Yeah.
Well, after that, Gonzo is attempting to run fast enough in circles that he'll go ahead in time to when the playhouse has already arrived, which leads to him and Piggy getting sucked into a blue hole.
Because black holes, too scary for kids.
Yeah. Piggy calls him out and says, I thought they were called black holes. And he says, nah, the black holes are too scary for kids. We use blue.
Mm-hmm.
Which could feel like a network note that like some writer was like, we can't use black holes, really? Okay, fine. It's a blue hole.
Yeah.
But because of what comes next in this episode, I don't know that scaring children was considered.
Okay, why?
Well, we'll wrap up this section first because they land in the future in a smart house where a robot prepares them lunch. Everything just kind of keeps going wrong because Piggy keeps saying things like, ugh, gross me out. And so they
she
dump
says,
slime on her.
Patooey, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, she says, ugh, I need a bath. And so the robot washes her. And then she says something about wanting a shake. And the robot violently shakes Piggy for a really long time.
Don't do that. You can't do that to a kid.
No. Especially because it turns out what was actually happening was Skeeter was shaking Piggy to get her out of her imagination sequence. Apparently, this was some sort of stupor she was in. Skeeter is waking her up because someone's at the door. And I guess it was just Nanny again. But they don't clarify this time. They don't say who was there. They don't say, Mrs. Carruthers forgot some sugar or something.
Right. Nanny's just like up to something today.
I think so, because she immediately is like, hey, kids, I think it's time for your nap.
Yeah.
And so they all go to sleep.
Maybe she's got a man over,
Oh, Mr. Carruthers.
Mrs. Carruthers is there looking for Mr. Carruthers.
Well, Skeeter and Rolf refuse to nap. They are taking a look at the playhouse. But in the dark with a flashlight, turns out this thing looks spooky. What if the playhouse is haunted? Which kind of creeps Rolf out a bit.
I like a Rolf and Scooter duo. I think that was kind of neat.
Oh, I like Skeeter being the antagonist to be like, oh, Ralph's a little scared. So Scooter and Rolf in their imagination sequence are going inside this spooky looking house. And we get to meet one of my all-time favorite Muppet Babies characters, even just based on name alone.
Yeah.
Skeetlejuice.
Skeetlejuice is a really good
Top
name.
Notch.
It's got to be the best name of all of them so far.
I don't like that they keep undercutting it, too, by Scooter getting it wrong.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Scoodle-Moose? It's like, it's Skeetlejuice.
Put some respect on her name.
And I thought maybe the third time she corrects him, she'd vanish or something. But no, he just keeps getting it wrong. She keeps correcting him.
Yeah. And ripping her own head off.
She tears her head off, which is the moment where I was thinking, okay, black holes are too scary, but Skeeter can pull her head off.
She's got an interesting outfit, too. Like,
it kind of looks like Lydia.
Yeah.
In the cartoon, which premiered the same month as this season of Muppet Babies.
Oh, weird. Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. She's got the spiderwebby design, sort of.
Yeah, but like this show, obviously, they take a year to animate these things.
Right.
So I can't imagine they would have known anything about the Beetlejuice cartoon unless they're produced out of the same company. But the Beetlejuice cartoon looks way better than this, so I assume that's not the case. The Beetlejuice cartoon looks
great. Great character design in the Beetlejuice cartoon.
A show, I will say, is not a bingeable show.
Oh, I've never even there's so many of those shows that really all you need to do is watch the intro sequence. And you've gotten all that you're ever going to get. And maybe the pilot will be animated well too. But the first episode and the intro is kind of all you need to usually watch of that stuff. That was definitely my introduction to Beetlejuice, and I was extremely confused why he was so mean in the movie.
It's a very different Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
But Skeetlejuice is just a little bit evil. There's a good Danny Elfman-esque music cue in the background of this scene too, which I liked. They leaned into that.
Yeah.
Rolf sees a toy train set, and he and Scooter get sucked down into it, shrunken down into the toy train. Which
somebody really loved Beetlejuice. Basically,
that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
as someone who also loves Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
the train is being driven by Skeetlejuice towards a destroyed bridge, and so they have to jump from the train before crashing to their deaths.
Oh, it had just come out too. 1988.
Yeah, a couple of years, right?
1988 was Beetlejuice.
Oh, okay. Then they were really on top of things.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the cartoon was that soon after the show.
Straight to work, and they were like, "I just saw the best movie ever. We have to make a whole Muppet Babies about it."
They're like, it seems a little scary. You know, it's about death. That guy swears and lives in a brothel. I don't know if that's really Muppet Babies.
Yeah. Talks about several characters have committed suicide.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. It is a movie I watched, I think, way too young.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Them stretching their faces out or one of them ripping their face off in the closet. Horrifying.
I mean, even just Beetlejuice yelling, "Nice fucking model." Yeah, I'm like, exactly. I shouldn't have been hearing that.
Yeah.
Well, the ground opens up after they jump off the train and a terrifying Skeetlejuice shows up again just to scare them. And this was one of the moments where I was like, okay, so the babies know Beetlejuice and the Bible, but not Shirley Temple. All right. That's the logic here. And then it's time for, I guess, if we're searching for something tacked on to extend an episode, it is this.
Yeah, right.
We have the Fozzie Bear Club.
Right.
Which is like the Mickey Mouse Club, but it's Fozzie. And after they introduce themselves, it's time for a Fozzie Bear cartoon. It's a black and white Fozzie cartoon, a cartoon within a cartoon, I'd like to point out. And they don't change the style of Fozzie whatsoever.
A little rubber hose, fun-eyed Fozzie would have been great.
This is something we've talked about before way too many times on this show.
Yeah.
But when somebody in a cartoon draws themselves or somebody else and it looks identical to what the cartoon looks like, that's the equivalent of me drawing a photorealistic picture of Sam.
Yeah, you're the
and people are like, whoa, what the hell? How are you so good? And so the idea that there is a cartoon that they're watching inside of the cartoon, it should not look exactly the same as them.
No. Plus, it would have just been fun if he had looked different.
Yes, a rubber-hosed old Steamboat Willie style Fozzie. Give it to me.
It would have just made us be like, this is what the show should have looked like, huh? Probably, though.
We know a couple of Muppet fan artists that I think could do a fantastic job of Steamboat Willie-ing the Muppets.
You know, I think the idea of Fozzie would be the most likely to actually have a show like this, I think, too. Like Fozzie's Funhouse. I can see that. Where he's kind of like a he's like a less nasty Krusty the Clown, where it's just like, it's like a sadder Muppet show where all the acts go wrong and like none of the jokes are funny. And he's just like, you know, I think that would be a good show. Like he could have like a Saturday morning bumpers where he like shows up in between each one. He's like, and now we're going to watch Transformers. But first, here's my little skit. And all the kids are just like, no, we don't want this.
You could definitely use Fozzie as the star.
Yeah.
He could have a breakout. But in this, not much happens. Mostly it's other black and white cartoon clips of the cartoons running away from hearing Fozzie's jokes.
Yeah. Betty Boop's dog, for instance.
And then we learn it's time for a special guest.
Not the dog she has sex with, her real dog. Because her boyfriend's also a dog.
Yeah. It is a Goofy Pluto situation.
Her boyfriend's a dog.
There's only one dog you can have sex with, and the other one is just a dog.
You'll get in trouble. Oh, I get in trouble when I have sex with this dog.
I'm going to need a chart. Well, it's time for a special guest on the Fozzie Bear Club show because the mail lady is here. Nanny comes in with a very special package, a small brown envelope, and she's a little concerned that she's just handed these kids a very small package when they're waiting for a giant truckload of Playhouse. But they put together their Playhouse. It's itty bitty. It has a train set around it, and somehow no one is disappointed.
They barely, the kids themselves don't even draw any attention to it.
No, because she asks, I think, something along the lines of like, you guys disappointed? And they're like, no, we love it. It's the best. Sure. I believe you because it's in the show. But this episode was not leading to, and the kids love their tiny house.
Yeah. This was the worst day of the kid's life.
Like they should have been mad. They got scammed. Like I feel like this is almost a commentary on things like X-ray glasses and
the
build your own submarine. Right.
Instead, they build a porch onto it.
And there's a car. The car was included, or I guess maybe they already had the car.
They had They make a little fence, but they attach a porch to the front of it.
And the go bye at the end of this episode is Gonzo having an idea for a new show called Gonzi's Playhouse. And it could be a weird show that has talking furniture. clearly, for those that maybe don't know, this is based on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Don't take a swipe at Pee-wee if you're the Muppet Babies, guys.
But in this, the furniture is all talking and trying to dissuade him and be like, talking furniture, what a silly idea for a show. Maybe talking shoes are the way to go.
Yeah.
And so his shoes, in the voice of Animal, yell out, don't go, more show.
Nah, the opposite of go bye-bye.
Yeah.
How times have changed. This segment written by people who wish desperately that they were working on Pee-wee's Playhouse instead, I would imagine.
Well, that does it, Sam, for another visit to the nursery. You know, we got a few more left of season 6. And like I said before, we roll right into season 7. So
Dang,
we will
that
be talking about
sucks.
Muppet Babies for a while.
Dude, that sucks. But you know
You're
what?
not wrong, but we have some fun episodes along the way of Sesame Street, and we have a fun crossover episode coming out pretty soon.
That's right. I like talking for way too long about Muppet Babies.
That's the
with you,
thing,
though,
Sam.
Matt.
We have reached the point where, one, we know what to expect, for better or worse. It would take a lot, I think, for us to truly hate an episode at this point. Like,
Yeah.
it would have to, I think there will be at least one more episode in our future of Muppet Babies that we will despise.
That tests our strength as humans.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
But I
you're
think
right.
now, as I watch them, I am thinking more about what it will be talking to you about it,
Yeah.
as opposed to just, dear God, why did I make us do this?
It's the classic Mystery Science Theater method of self-preservation. In universe, we're strapped in. We're watching every episode of Muppet Babies, but at least we can talk to each other. I built
And it's
you out of
much
spare
like,
parts.
the people who don't watch movies without the Mystery Science Theater 3000 commentary.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people who are listening to these episodes aren't watching Muppet Babies with us because they know it's not worth it.
They know they shouldn't. No one
No.
should. Yeah. But it's gotten better. It's gotten better. I gotta say.
But the real takeaway is no one should watch Muppet Babies.
You don't need to watch it. You don't watch the intro. Like I said earlier, just watch the intro. That's the part you remember anyway.
Or if you got that hankering, just listen to our episodes a dozen more times.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, before we get out of here, I got to check in and ask, what non-Muppet Babies things did you watch, play, read, enjoy this week?
We were watching the Oscars nominated movies. So let's see. I think I probably already talked about watching Begonia. Did I? I don't know. I'll go over the ones we watched. So I watched Begonia. Begonia, loved it. Oh, probably one of my favorite movies of the year. F1. Oh my God, I hated it.
Oh, yeah.
I hated it so much. I had to text you partway through to be like, what's going on here?
You did text me some questions while you're watching F1 that are not answered by the movie.
Really, the problem I had with it was the freaking announcers that are basically like a running narration over the whole movie. And they're like, he's driving his car really fast. Oh, when they pass each other like that, that means that one of them passed the other one. And now he's in first place. But they don't sound like real announcers. They sound like just like us talking to each other. And if I was watching that telecast, I'd be like, what? These guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, the problem is they are the real announcers. They are actual F1
and they're acting
announcers.
and doing a bad job.
Yes, they are being given scripted lines, which are dumbed down, simplified, over-explaining versions of lines. For instance, there's a thing in F1, or there was until this year, called DRS, which is basically the back spoilery thing. The wing goes down.
Drag resistance system.
Yeah, drag reduction system.
Reduction system, yeah.
But I think there's multiple times in the movie where the commentators are like, he's using the drag reduction system.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever heard the full words spelled out, like said like fully by any commentator ever. They would only call it DRS.
Because the people who do sports calling don't dumb it down. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't dumb it down, and then you just kind of glean what they're talking about, or you look it up later or something. And if they said that's the DRS, when he pushes the button to make, it just feels like there's a lot of times also where he pushes a button that makes him go faster.
Yeah, there's a lot in that movie that is not realistic to watching races, because sometimes F1 races are quite boring because it's actually really hard to pass people and really hard to like do a lot of the things he does when he like will go from 18th place to 3rd place in 2 laps. You're like,
yeah.
normally those positions are like 2 minutes apart on the track. So it's impossible. There's also, again, the whole thing of a lot of times in the movie, he's just cheating to help his team.
Oh, yeah, right. I remember. Yeah.
And those are things that would get their entire team disqualified.
Uh-huh.
And the idea
sitting in the pit for too long, is that cheating?
It depends. Some of those things you could get in trouble for.
Right.
But like wrecking on purpose is a big one. That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Just the entire concept of the movie being, this is a team that constantly comes in last. They have no money and they need to win a race this season. That's never going to happen. There are teams going into every season that they know there is 0% chance that unless every other car crashes, they're never going to win a race.
Right.
Because their place is the back of the grid. And they hope that 6 years from now, their team is better. But within one season, to be the worst team and try to win a race, it would literally take other cars crashing.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's no way he's just at the end of the movie beating Mercedes and Ferrari on merit.
Right. Well, yeah. And it feels, the whole thing to me felt phony, and it felt like a big commercial in a really annoying way to me.
It definitely is that. And I think if you watched F1, this is for you, Sam, or anyone else, and were frustrated, I recommend 2 better movies.
Okay.
There's a movie called Grand Prix, which is from 1960.
Oh, I've heard that's great.
Yeah. I think I talked about it probably to you on this podcast years ago.
You're right.
But it's very good. It's very long. I understand it's probably long and a little boring for people whose taste is not the pace of 1960s movies. But for all the bragging they did about how they shot F1, during real races and with cameras on the cars. And to be fair, there's a lot of really cool technology. A lot of the shots look really cool. There's also a lot of CG adding elements to that. In Grand Prix in 1960, they have giant film cameras strapped to the cars that are remotely operated and can turn 180 degrees mid-shot.
Cool.
And it's amazing if you think about it for a second of like, how the hell did they just get that shot? And they recorded during real races, and they have basically their actors dress like some of the real racers. So like, his helmet has a Union Jack on it, and a real racer in the 60s had a Union Jack on his helmet. So they can say, that's Joe.
That's that guy. Right.
So Grand Prix is one if you want like a good F1 movie. And if you want a good racing movie made by the same people pretty much that made F1, but as a better movie, Days of Thunder.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Better
same
movie.
People, is that what you said?
Jerry Bruckheimer, he produced it.
Oh, okay.
And a very, very similar plot line. Almost identical. And the rumor is that they wanted to have a Cole Trickle, which is Tom Cruise's character's name in Days of Thunder, do a cameo in F1. And that there's a chance if they do a sequel to F1 that it will be a crossover sequel with Days of Thunder.
Oh, well, yeah, that would make sense with Top Gun being so popular.
Yeah. So I think like I'm on board for that. I'll watch it. But Days of Thunder is a much better movie.
It would have made sense if because they play up that Baja race he's going to at the end so much. He pulls up on the beach and the old man waiting for him is Tom Cruise instead.
Yeah.
I
think that's one of the rumors is that the sequel might be like the two of them team up to become like, Baja or rally racers or something.
Fucking stupid, but cool, I guess. But still.
Yeah. What? To make a movie about such a despisable character, like, I don't think he does anything really that redeeming in that entire movie.
Who, Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Like, the best thing he does is cheat to make his team do better.
Well,
and they're like, oh, we love you now.
I didn't have a problem with him because he's so fun to watch no matter what. But I don't know. I just thought I thought it was exactly what I thought it was going to be, but a little bit worse.
The story is incredibly weak.
Yeah, and I'm shocked it was nominated for Best Picture. That seems like something F1 paid some money to get it nominated. Yeah,
because best editing, best special effects, best sound design, whatever. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's like when Transformers used to get nominated all the time for those awards. But Transformers never eked into best picture.
No.
And I think the first time somebody told me F1 got nominated for Best Picture, I thought they were lying.
Yeah.
I could not believe that would be true.
Well, I hope it doesn't win. I watched Train Dreams too, which I thought was really boring. I was expecting,
but like not in a good way.
Did you?
I haven't watched it yet, but it looks boring in a good way to me.
I found it boring in not a good way because I understand what I love boring in a good way movies. This one, it actually kind of alternates between being boring and then too much happening like in between the lines, where it's like it's like There Will Be Blood sucks. That's what I think. Like There Will Be Blood is a boring
movie when it came out.
What?
I watched that movie once when it came out, and I did not enjoy it either.
Oh, okay. That to me is a boring movie in a good way. Where
I thought you were saying that movie sucks.
There Will Be Blood's like my favorite movie.
Oh, I thought you just said the words "There Will Be Blood" sucks.
No. Let me start over. It's like Train Dreams is to me is like if There Will Be Blood sucked.
I see.
So
okay,
kind of a similar tone, except made more ineptly, I would say. But I don't know. Maybe I was just in a bad mood when I watched it, but I didn't get a lot out of it. And then I still have to watch Hamnet and Sentimental Value and The Secret Agent, and then I'll have watched all of them. That's a lot left, but anyway.
Right. Yeah, a lot of sadness in your future.
I have a lot of sadness to do. I don't even know what Sentimental Value is, but I'm sure it's sad.
I think it's also sad. I think it, yeah.
How about you? What have you been watching?
A little bit of the Winter Olympics, but not much, because the way we usually consume the Olympics is we just kind of have it on all the time. And when you have a baby who's not supposed to have screen time, you kind of don't just leave the TV on for sporting events all day, because her playpen is in the middle of the living room. So she would just be watching hockey all day.
I had been watching plenty of TV at this point, and look at me.
Yeah, you're a Muppet podcaster.
Okay. So are you.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You don't want that. I don't want that for my child.
I want better for my child. I want a better life for her.
I want her
she
to
could
be
like a rocket scientist or something. If
I
she
want
doesn't,
her to be what's a good show?
I don't know. I'm just trying to give her some transferable skills, Sam.
Okay.
There isn't going to be another Muppet podcast that wants to hire us at any point. This is it. This is the peak of our career.
Shoot, right.
But I guess the other thing I did this week that was fun is I pulled out the old PS1 and played some Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, yeah. I saw that on B-Reel or something like that. Yeah, right. How was it? Fun?
It's fun. It's one of a lot of those old PS1 games I can play for like 5 minutes. And much like a Beetlejuice cartoon on DVD, you're like, oh, this was fun when I had friends over and we downed a case of Mountain Dew and played this for 8 hours.
Right.
By myself as a 38-year-old man.
There's no
Vigilante 8 isn't necessarily my kind of game.
Right.
But Crash Bandicoot is still a very fun game. And the charm of the PS1 graphics and design doesn't make it a worse experience like it does with other games.
Right. Because there's just certain of those games that were designed to take advantage of that look. And like I have Spyro was like that and Crash. Yeah.
Like I bought NFL Game Day 98 because that was the football game I played the most as a kid.
Right.
And like that game is so hard to play after you've played, more modern sports games that actually react to the movements you tell your players to do.
Yeah.
Back then you had to have like a built-in lag filter in your brain to be like, okay, I'm going to push this way, but he's probably going to go the other way, or it's going to take him a second to decide to go this way. And so it's very hard to be good at those old games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just trying to, use my PS1 and my CRT TV that I have set up and play a little bit of Crash Bandicoot.
That's a great use for it. Yeah. And on those games on the old Scanline TVs always look a little better too.
Yeah. Whenever anyone's like, oh, you could have this emulator that has 300 games and play it on your PC and all this stuff. I'm like, right. But I want to hold a PS1 controller and click the little disc door. And I want if I'm going to play old games, I want to have the console in my house.
Exactly. Yeah. You ever seen those old comparisons of like Super Nintendo emulator graphics compared to what the graphics look like on
or like even how they look on the Switch with like the Nintendo arcade classes, whatever they call them.
It bothers me actually that they don't have a filter like that on those games.
They do have a filter. It's not a good, accurate
They do?
filter.
Okay.
Yeah, you can turn on a filter like a CRT scanline filter, but it's not as good as the people who have made them for their PC emulators, which is usually pretty good.
Right.
But yeah, like the games almost look worse when they try to make them look better because they used to be filtered through scanline CRT technology.
Yeah. So the pixels would squish together into a kind of painterly thing.
There's a reason that like your memory of like Super Nintendo games is better than when you pull up a screenshot or a re-release of a Super Nintendo game.
Right.
But anyways, that was two old men talking about video games.
They used to be so fun.
I'm still playing a lot of Ghost of Yote when I have time.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
That game is so much fun.
I haven't played a new game in a long time.
Well, we should let you know what we're watching next time. And guess what? It's time to make another trip across the pond from the nursery to Fafner Hall.
I'm okay with this. I think it'll be fun. I'm excited to watch more of that crazy show.
Yeah, because I kind of don't know what to expect from anything anymore, or who's going to show up as a special guest, or what the hell Farkas is going to try to do next time. Eventually, he's just going to be like running around with a knife, being like, "I'll stab you all."
What's Farkas's body count going to be?
Yeah. Where'd Riff go? Riff hasn't been around for a couple episodes.
Farkas is telltale hearting it in his half of the episode.
Yeah.
Like, there's
what's
two
that
ghosts
weird rhythm I keep hearing?
Oh no.
Well, yes, we are going to watch 3 more episodes of Fafner Hall as we move into October of 1989 to discuss the episodes titled Music is More Than Technique, The Voice is an Instrument, and Reacting to Sounds.
No, that last one especially. There's been 3 other things called that.
Yeah. I'm already tired of the title of the episodes for the show, and we were 6 episodes in.
Oh, boy.
Well, that'll be next time. For now, we need to thank our friend Tuna for making the music for this podcast. Good music. Not that crap right. Fafner Hall's shitting out.
Let's reboot Fafner Hall with Tuna.
I'm just picturing Tuna in that ghostly lady costume. Looking pretty good, Tuna. Good job.
Yeah, it looks nice. Powdered wig. Get a powdered wig on Tuna. Come on.
Powder that Tuna.
Yes.
Well, we'll thank Tuna and also Cassie Wilson for singing our theme song. Don't forget to go to commitment.com for all commitment needs. And while you're listening to this podcast, you can rate and review it on your platform of choice. Or hey, if you're listening on YouTube, leave a comment down below. Give it a thumbs up. All that jazz. If you want to get in touch with us, email us at mail@commitment.com or follow us on social media at commitmentpod or at commitment.com on Blue Sky, where you can always follow me at Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And as always, keep believing.
Keep pretending.